So the plans for Tru Heel Heat, it was you know, it was always the plan to not talk about Triple H. We've never said a bad word about Triple H. We think Triple H is great at what he's doing, and we've never like complimented AEW before, never made this channel for content creators that aren't fully white all the time, because there was so much white content creators before Tru Heel Heat was around. It was always the plan to to be a pro WWE pocket. My bad. I'm sorry. I got all Nick Conned in the thing. I started lying to you. I'm sorry about that. It is me. Yeah, it's Saturday morning. And you know what that means? It's time for the Saturday morning cookout. It's time for some Tru Heel Heat, where, yes, we will be talking about Nick Khan lying again. All the plans for WrestleMania 40, it went exactly how they planned it from the very beginning. It's not like they had a documentary that told us otherwise. It's not like he's saying that The Rock, Triple H, Cody Rhodes, and everyone in between is damn liars, and I'm telling the truth. It was all planned from the beginning. We're also going to be talking about WWE's latest plans to counter program an AEW pay-per-view and ask the question, is this hurting AEW or is it really hurting TNA, as Slammiversary will be on the same day as the next NXT PLE? Over in AEW, Mercedes Moné is back. CEO. And we'll talk about if she can save the 2026 for the AEW women's division. MJF may be injured, and what does that mean for the future of his AEW world title reign? Will Ospreay has advanced in the Owen Hart Cup. Who is he gonna face in the finals at Forbidden Door? We got some New Japan Pro Wrestling with the Best of Super Juniors hitting the finals tomorrow, and we'll have final predictions for that final matchup. CMLL's got a Mystico back, and yes, we will be talking about one of the very best matches of the year. And no, I'm not going to diminish or disregard anyone's catalog and say that this match is better than it, but I will say one of the best WWE and one of the best AAA matches of all time. El Grande Americano versus the original El Grande Americano from last week's Noche de los Grandes. It's the Tru Heel Heat Flagship Podcast. We talk about it all in the world of pro wrestling. So why don't we get into
Hello, this is RJ City, and I am ethically opposed to any more wrestling podcasts. I don't know why you guys are talking about wrestling. It is a niche product. It is a very small industry. Yet, at this point, there's more wrestling podcasts than there are wrestlers. There is something wrong with society as a whole, but as you get smaller and smaller into wrestling, and then the wrestling podcast sphere, it gets even worse. And one such example, if I may turn on the microscope and look at the drudgery that happens to be Tru Heel Heat. SP3, Sid, this is your fault.
All right, hello, Tru Heel Heat. I'm the AEW World Champion MJF. Just in case you're deaf, dumb, blind, stupid, or since you listen to this podcast, or you're listening to Tru Heel Heat, and I apologize for that.
He said to watch Tru Heel Heat now, right now.
Hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3, and we are live on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube and Facebook for Tru Heel Heat 384 Lies and Counter Programming, discussing the latest wrestling news, including WWE Counter Programming, AEW Forbidden Door, and how that affects TNA Slammiversary as well. Nick Khan lying on WrestleMania 40 plans 2 years later. A recap of this week in wrestling with WWE Clash in Italy featuring Brock Lesnar avenging his WrestleMania loss versus Oba Femi. SmackDown featuring King and Queen of the Ring continuing. Raw on Netflix featuring Jacob Fatu acknowledging Roman Reigns and joining the Bloodline. Triple A Noches de los Grandes featuring the Grande Americano versus Mass versus Mass Instant Classic. WWE NXT Evolve, TNA Impact. You have AEW Collision and Dynamite featuring Mercedes Monet's return. NJPW Best of Super Juniors 33 coming to a conclusion. ROH CMLL with Mystico's return, and final predictions for the Best of Super Juniors finals. And to break it all down, as per usual, our trio is here this week. First up, we got the true draw himself, Carlos Silva's favorite podcaster, and the New York Knicks' favorite wrestling podcaster, not Peter Rosenberg, the one and only True Draw Josh. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Knicks are up 2-0 in the finals. I can't complain.
Yes. And someone here is like the wrestling podcast version of Danhausen, because she jinxed y'all in reverse and helped y'all win. The one and only princess of all the True Heels is Krssi Luv.
Wow, first of all, that's blasphemy, but whatever. I'm really proud of the Knicks. Thank you very much. Oh, I don't even remember what I fucking said now. You just said I just cursed them. I didn't curse them. I didn't do anything. But I'm happy that y'all had me on that gave me a very heart palpitation yesterday, because I don't understand the back and forth with them yesterday. Whew, but y'all pulled through, friends. You pulled through. They're gonna burn the city down though once they win though.
Thank God I'm not there.
I know you should be very happy that you're not here, SB, because
if we got to sacrifice something, I'll take it.
Hey, long-suffering Knicks fans are going to be happy.
Look, but the city, you know what? I wish you were here though, SP, so you could see feel the city. You know why? Because everyone is happy. Everyone is has joy. I haven't seen since they've won these last two games. I think crime has been down a little bit. Nope, I'm lying. Sorry, not really.
I mean, crime is down under Manani. To be fair,
yeah, he been outside. He been at the clubs. And y'all talk about Eric Adams at the club. This guy been out. He been outside partying hard. I ain't even mad at him. But crime has been down a little bit. People just happy. Every third person has on Knicks stuff or Knicks colors. The city is riding for the Knicks. I just say that. I don't know about any other team right now because no one really gives a fuck. Everybody talking about the Knicks.
I am happy for my mom, who hasn't seen a Knicks championship since she was a little kid.
Right.
I'm happy. Yes. I'm happy for a bunch of the Knicks fans.
Yes.
Just not the overall fan base.
Yes.
The overall fan base disgusts me and act like they've never been here before.
Right.
Because they have.
Right.
They haven't. Right. A lot of them are bad. A lot of them are bandwagons, to be fair, because no,
the true fans that was with you guys when through all of the terrible coaches, through all
that's what I've been saying. Remember when they made it to the finals, I was telling everybody, I was like, hey, if you weren't there when Phil Jackson was running the team, don't come now. I don't want to see you now. Right? When what's the other dude, Fizdale, when he was coaching? I don't want y'all there now.
Yep.
When Al Harrington was hanging on rims, I don't want y'all there. Like I don't want
Harrington. That's a friend of mine. Don't do that.
I mean, hey, he cost us a lot of games too. He was hanging on rims, you know. He was acting ignorant, you know, and he was also part of some of the worst Knicks teams, unfortunately. But you know,
he was a Knick, though. That's all that matters.
He was, but I mean, you know, he just
when the Knicks were not good, they were Knicks.
I mean, the team wasn't very good, you know. It's just, but like yesterday, right? I'm seeing all these fools when they come out of they come out of Madison Square Garden because they're doing the watch party, right? Mm-hmm. You know damn well if you're climbing on the street light, they're going to arrest you. So why do you still do it? Why do you still do it?
Yeah,
the New Yorkers don't know how to act. That's why
they don't. That's why I said
I don't care how happy New York is. I do not want to be there.
That's what I'm saying.
And the Knicks win a championship. They are acting like this after winning 2 games. Imagine if they win 2 more games. The city's gonna burn down. Like, I'm good. I don't want to be around that.
We're gonna be Gotham City for sure. I promise you. Yeah. It's gonna be Gotham City. I don't know if Batman is around or somebody, Spider-Man. Somebody.
Batman could take the night off that night.
And I want to go to a watch party, but I don't want to be around all those people. It's just too many people. It's just so much. I just watch it at home and be happy. I'll go to a watch party at a bar probably.
You know what's crazy though? So like there was one of the bodegas in the city that they had the TV out and
outside of the store.
Yeah, outside of the store, right? And then when the last play was done, they did a visual of like the crowd. It was a huge crowd for a small ass TV. I was like, yo, I don't think I've ever seen anything like this.
I don't think we've ever seen anything like this. Yeah, to experience this. I remember '99 when Latrell Sprewell and them were on the team and they didn't make it, and David Robinson and them kicked their asses.
The closest I probably felt seeing this, honestly, the closest I would say was the '96 New York Yankees, because I remember when I was a kid, right? And the reason why I remember this is because when the Yankees won, we were on our way to pick up my dad from work. So we saw the end of the game, and then we were on our way to the city to pick up my dad. All you heard was horns honking. Everybody was on the street celebrating. I saw a lot of people being arrested. I was actually, my mom was like, why is that guy being arrested? Like, what did he do? Right? You know, because I'm a kid. I'm being stupid. But
in a rowdy New Yorker.
And then I found out, like, obviously as you get older, like, because they were fucking disturbing the peace, basically, when the Yankees won. This is probably the closest that I felt. And that's different because we didn't have internet back then. We didn't have the social media now.
To be fair, the closest I ever seen was being in Harlem the night that Obama got elected.
Oh, that's a good one too.
That's another big night. Yes, you're right, SP. That's another big night. Word. I remember that too.
Everybody, I literally gave pounds of people I never met in my life. It was like, we did it. We did it. It was a win. It was a win for everyone who lived in Harlem. It felt like everybody in Harlem was like celebrating on the streets. It was great. Yeah. But yes, we appreciate y'all for joining us live. Appreciate y'all for watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back the simplest way possible. Drop the thumbs up on the video. That helps us out a lot. You can also share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. You can also sound off in the comments down below if you're watching us on demand and keep the conversation going. Let us know what you thought about this week in pro wrestling. And of course, if you're with us live, sound off in the live live chat. We love to interact with all of you, hear your thoughts on the latest and greatest in pro wrestling all over the world. We talk about it all here on the Tru Heel Heat flagship podcast. And of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here, you want to show your support to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel in the best way possible, you could do so with a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. It goes back to the contributors that you see on screen with us here, and we always appreciate the support. Also, if you're watching us on demand, hype this video. That helps us out a lot. If you're listening to us, give us a 5-star review on your podcast platform. That helps us out dearly as well. We got a super chat donation to start us off from Volup, who says he's watching He-Man. We'll do a mini review when I can. What is He-Man? Is that a new show?
No, it's the movie Master of the Universe.
Oh, okay. I've seen the Master of the Universe commercial. So yeah.
It comes out this weekend. So I mean, yeah.
I might be going to the movies tomorrow, which I'm probably gonna regret. Like the last time I went to the movies and I watched Scream 7, because I'm gonna watch the parody of Scream 7. I'm gonna watch Scary Movie.
Scary movies.
Yeah, I fear that's gonna be as bad as Scream 7.
Damn.
Oh.
All I've seen is some bad reviews. Everybody's saying it's terrible, but I can't help myself. Help myself.
It's getting panned, but you know what it is too. I think when you make a movie like that on this age, it's probably not gonna go well for like the critics, but as a fan you might like it. But I don't know. I haven't seen any good reviews at all either. Like people who liked it, they liked it, but I have not seen anything like, oh, you got to see it. Like you gotta. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I can imagine when it first came out in like 2000, Scary Movie 1, that probably didn't get the greatest reviews either. So,
but everyone loved it though.
Go watch it. Yeah, I'm still gonna go watch it. We got Zach Minger in the chat who lets us know, Josh, that it's good morning, National Applesauce Cake Day. Who has applesauce cake?
Applesauce cake, right? I never knew that. Hi, good morning, Zach. I've never even heard of that thing. I wasn't never an applesauce fan, but you know,
is that shit like made up?
I like applesauce, but applesauce cake? That's weird. Sorry, Zach.
I need to look it up now. Like now, I'm curious.
That doesn't sound like pleasing to the stomach.
No, it doesn't. Doesn't sound pleasing at all. Bloody Money saying tomorrow is Best of Super Juniors 33 final, and it's a repeat from last year final. The IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion Doki needs to make an appearance. No, he doesn't. I'm fine with him never being on a New Japan show ever again until he loses the title. G1 Climax 36 may be announced on Dominion next Sunday, and he also lets us know that yes, Alba Fire, aka Kaylee Ray, made her first appearance in pro wrestling since her WWE release. She was on yesterday's Eve 150 show that also had Miyu Yamashita versus Chris Statlander in the main event as well. So some good stuff over in Eve. We got Eric Isaac, who says, hey, THH fam, what a banner day for Judgment Day yesterday, as both Dom and Raquel won. And yes, my birthday weekend, June 28th, gonna be banner a lot day. Of fun. What? Yeah, teach us.
Banner day. Come on. What are we doing?
Hey, they both won. That's what he's saying.
But still, like for winning a match, they didn't win anything. They just what? What the hell?
I would literally
for winning a match? What are we doing?
They're doing their job.
Yeah, but it's like, what are we doing? A banner? Like what? What?
I said, so Raquel won a match in like how long now? She's
first time in a while.
This bum hasn't won in a while, and then we're talking about banners. Come on.
Banner day. He says his birthday weekend gonna be a lot of fun with 4 big pay-per-views. We're gonna talk about that a lot on today's show. We got Jordan from Canada who says, "Great to be here. Appreciate the recaps." Hashtag THH 384. He says, "Excellent pro wrestling collage as usual. The figures really come together nicely this week." And he says, "Wild. They're calling Mass versus Mass the best WWE wrestling match in years. It's one of the best all time, I would say, honestly." We also got Power Driver Finisher says, "It's fine. It's fine. He's watching. It's fine. It's fine. He's watching Tru Heel Heat. He's getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger." Gotta do my Leo Rush voice for that.
I love Leo Rush's new gimmick. I think it's great. I think it's awesome.
You guys have to get on social media and tag Romeo. Romeo's too busy being happy for his New York Knicks. Partially, he's part of the fan base that I think are the horrible Knicks fans. But you need to get on social media and tag him and say Josh must be in the intro. It's up to y'all. I'm leaving that up to you.
I'm so sorry, Josh. I thought I didn't know that was him.
No, that bastard. He'd been lazy.
Did he quit? Because I don't understand. I don't be seeing him no more.
Oh. Damn.
Brad saying, "All I want is the Knicks fans to boo Trump out of MSG on Monday."
He gonna be there?
Yeah, he's gonna be there for Game 3.
Oh my! Why?
He's scheduled to be.
Don't we know they're gonna boo? Yeah, I hope they boo the shit out of him too.
To be honest, it depends on what kind of Knicks fans attend that show.
You know what?
It's either it's really gonna be really bad for him, or it's gonna go really very good. Well. Yeah, it depends on what crowd you're getting.
Like, why do you need?
Because remember, that was the same building they did one of his campaigns. You know, so I think he's gonna get booed.
I can see that. Dion saying Spider Cuz will save NYC.
No, he won't. He'll be the opposite. He'll help burn the city. What do you mean?
He will. He'll come with the gasoline. Kevin saying
what are we doing?
Kevin saying Nixon 4 all day. We got jerking my Dragunov.
That's kind of crazy that he said that while having a Miami Heat.
Yeah. It just didn't look right for me. Jerking my Dragunov says Scream 6 was very disappointing. I fear that, but I've already talked myself into going to the movies to see it. So
you said you've already talked yourself? Wow, if you have to talk yourself into this, man.
Well, I have to talk myself. I always have to talk myself into going to the movies.
Okay.
Yeah, the next time I plan on going to the movies is for Supergirl. But that week, it's going to be extremely difficult for me to go to the movies because of everything going on that weekend.
That's the wrestling weekend.
Yeah, that's the wrestling weekend. So I'm probably going to have to wait to the week following to go to that movie. So
yeah, I might just see it that Friday just to get it over with because I really want to see that movie because I love Superman. I love what they did with Superman. This one gives like the Guardians of the Galaxy feel. So I like what they've been doing with it. But I can't see that Friday because that weekend is gonna be.
I'm about to say, the crazy. Girl who's playing Supergirl is from Game of Thrones, right?
I don't watch Game of Thrones, to be fair.
SB, you have to binge Game of Thrones.
No, I'm good. I'm good. Bro. It's not my bag. It's not my bag. It's not my thing. It's kind of like Lord of the Rings movies. I don't do Lord of the Rings. I never watched it. I was like, that's not my thing. I
don't do Lord of the Rings. I didn't do Star Wars. That's not my lane.
Star Wars. I have watched. I love Star Wars, but
you do Star Wars, but you do Lord of the Rings, son. Come on.
Lord of the Rings is not my thing. Lord of the Rings and Star Wars are not the same thing, Krssi. They're not the same thing. I can show you a whole scene from Clerks 2 with Randall from Clerks explaining how there is two different things. It's a space odyssey with Star Wars, and Lord of the Rings is 4 short niggas walking around in the woods for fucking 2 hours and dropping a ring.
Yeah,
you're right. I went to sleep on that movie.
Yeah, but to answer Chrissy's question, she's from the series, but she's from House of Dragons.
She's from House of Dragon. Okay, yes, she's from House of Dragon.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, that's what I meant to say, which is coming back in 2 weeks. I can't wait. Now, I was gonna say, if you want to start somewhere, you can start with House of Dragons. I think you should start with that. But
I think Game of Thrones. I mean, Game of Thrones it's better. It's a better watch than Lord of the Rings. I tried to get into Lord of the Rings. It just got boring for me. I was like, come on, this is too long.
Yeah, that's how I was. So I was like, yeah, I'm good.
I was like, fuck this. I was like, fuck the rest of the series. I don't care what happens.
We got a super chat donation here from Meet Enormous, the best name on YouTube. Thank you so much, Meet Enormous, for the support. He says,
"Here's what's the name? Race Keys with him in that picture."
Maybe. He says, here's a small sack of monies for snacks or whatever y'all need. Put some respect on Brunson's name. Maybe less on Wemby. It's fine. It's fine. How you know? Wemby, man. I
felt
said
bad
this.
for him, though.
I thought in the Thunder series, I said like the main reason I was going for the Thunder is because I was like, their inexperience is going to cost them eventually. And that's what happened in last night's game. They had that game. They get the rebound, and he passes the ball to freaking Stefan Castle's back, and that is like the biggest blunder. That's the
nail. That cost him. And you could tell in his face that he was pissed. Like you could tell.
I don't know what he was thinking, because when you saw that angle, when you see like the other angle, the guy was completely turned around when he threw the pass. So it wasn't even like he was getting looked at and then he passed it. He wasn't looking at him at all. So
no,
like what was he thinking? You know, Wemby. I mean, you know, like Wemby is a talented kid. You know, third year in the league, so he's young. I mean, he's still learning. He's still young.
He's 22. This is his third year.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's really young.
He just turned 22.
Oh my God. Him and Harper, they're gonna go far.
Realistically, San Antonio, they were like their course was on the fast pace. So like nobody really expected like this high level of like the season they had. You know, I mean, it's a good core, it's a good team, and that's why it's not easy. Everybody's saying Knicks in 4. I don't want to say it just because I'm like, they're a good team. Spurs are a good team. It's just like Sid said. It's going to be their inexperience, and last night their inexperience did cost them. And I do feel like even game 1, their experience, because they were up by 14.
They were up by 14 in game 1, and they were up by 12 yesterday, and they blew both leads. This is this whole series is becoming very reminiscent of the Boston series from last year with the Knicks.
Yes.
And you kind of see what they're doing with Wemby, like they're smothering him. Like even in game 1, where you see like how they're playing defense on him. Cat was playing defense. That man never plays defense. Like, and that's how
they're not scared. That's the whole difference between them and Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren was scared to go into the paint, and a lot of the Thunder was scared to go into the paint. You had OG who had that drive and that dunk on Wemby in the game. Like that right there showed the Knicks are not scared of Wemby.
They're not scared of him, but the Spurs think that them triple or ganging up on Brunson is the problem, like the thing. And they still came through on both games. Like they gotta, I don't know what the coach is gonna do, but they have to regroup and like start from scratch. I don't know what's gonna happen, but
there's also their young coach. They have a really young coach.
I think coaches. I think they have a good team. Like they're good. They just not. It's just not for them right now. Sorry.
But then also, I mean, but then also, like I do feel like the last series for them that kind of I don't want to say it zapped them, but going game 7 against the defending champions, Wemby did admit last night that he was on the high from that. Like, and I'm like, I don't. If I was him, I wouldn't have said that.
I wouldn't have said that.
That's kind of like a mental thing that now you got that out there, so they kind of you put a weakness out there, and I mean, I feel bad for the kid, because I do feel like he's a good kid, and I do believe he's the future star of the league. Like he's that
Yeah,
good.
he's the future face of the league. But the Spurs basically do what a lot of teams do is when a team wins a championship and it looks like they're going to win a bunch of championships, all the other teams around them build their team to beat them.
They get better.
And that's what San Antonio did. They built that team to beat the Thunder, but that team is not built to beat a team like the Knicks. The Knicks are totally different from what the Thunder have. And Jalen Brunson about to make history as a small guard leading a team. Like we haven't seen this since, and like Steph Curry is even taller than him. So we can't even say like Steph Curry is a prototype.
I mean, I would say at most, I mean, since Steph Curry, like, you know, because the thing is with Steph Curry is like, you know, it might not show like, oh yeah, you know, finals MVP. He should have gotten at least, you know, multiple, in my opinion. But you know, the fact that the way that they've been playing the Knicks, you know, ever since they made that change, ever since that Hawks series, when they made the change, it was like, you know what, we're going to put Cat as the main playmaker. Ever since then, everything just has been like different. Like it feels like I'm watching the Warriors again. And it's kind of crazy because the coach who's coaching the Knicks was part of that for the Warriors. he was part of that Warriors team. So it's like, it's kind of like crazy to see, you know, and man, this is I mean, hands down, it's the best Knicks playoff team I've ever seen in my life. Right? Yeah, hands down.
Jalen Brunson, regardless of the result of the next 2 or 3, 4 games, he's a New York City sports legend already. Like
by far.
By far.
He's gonna get free meals in New York for life.
For life, yeah.
Every restaurant he goes, like, hey, it's on the house.
You brought the championship, friend. We don't even have to do anything.
No, I'm not dunking New York. I just don't want to be in it. I just don't want to be here. Knicks winning the championship, Knicks not winning the championship. I don't really want to be in New York, especially with the Knicks winning the championship. I gotta listen to the obnoxious Knicks fans. I'm good on that.
Damn, he's trying to bait you to do that 13-hour flight.
Exactly. I'm good on that. I'm comfortable here. But yes, I can look at it from a non-biased perspective and just be happy from afar for the place that I grew up and for Knicks fans like my mother, like my nephew, like Chris G, like Josh, and not like Romeo. Anyway, we gotta start off every Tru Heel Heat flagship podcast as usual with our Tru Heel roll call, shouting out all of you across social media here on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, and of course over on Patreon. Our top 3 conversation starters are Tru Heel Trinity. You got Jermaine Packman, you got Joe Bellini, and Stewie John Palmer. Our Patreon backers and members we want to shout out. We got Volub, we got Negro Bucknick Jackson, Professor Chris, Trey, Robert, Steve, Ladarius, Chase, King Greg, Carter, Louisville, Allen, Aya, John Martin, Dolores, James, Alan, Santo, Justin Rich, Chuck Berries, Dan, Josh D from CT, Dion Jenkins, and Luis, as well as Jordan from Canada. Thank you so much supporting us across social media, across our Patreon, and of course right here on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel. But of course, we're going to start off things with what we missed, and we're going to start off with the show that we capped off last week's show with, which was WWE Clash in Italy. Of course, Clash in Italy took place last Sunday, so a Sunday PLE for the folks over in Italy, in Torino. The show featured the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes beating the ring general Gunther to retain the undisputed WWE Championship, despite the fact that Gunther's foot was under the rope for the pinfall. Of course, Gunther was none too pleased with this result, as well as everything going down with his foot under the rope. He also had Rhea Ripley picking up a win over Jade Cargill in a good matchup to retain the WWE Women's Championship. Michin and B-Fab tried to get involved, but it was Charlotte Flair who came out and helped out our new friend in our frenemy in Rhea Ripley to pick up the win to retain her title. As far as new champions go, Sol Ruka walked out with some gold as she scored a victory over Becky Lynch to win the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. And then you also had Brock Lesnar avenging his WrestleMania loss as he defeated Oba Femi in a damn good and chaotic bout where he hit 7 F5s to beat the Ruler as the Beast picked up the win, and then did some bad math after the matchup. 1 + 1 = you're done. That is not a strong sign of mathematics for the Minnesota academics. But anyway, Roman Reigns defeated Jacob Fatu in tribal combat as he retained the WWE World Heavyweight Championship in the process, with multiple spears through tables as well as another spear to put him away. Post-match, Reigns and the Usos told Fatu to come with them, while Solo Sikoa watched on with the MFTs from the front row as Jacob chose to love Roman Reigns, as Roman Reigns talked shit to Cody Rhodes as he walked up the aisle and said, Cody, QB1, fuck that noise. And Cody, like the little bitch he is, tried to play politics on the post show. But anyway, WWE Clash in Italy, very disappointing. I thought that with this card that this was going to be like a very exciting show. The best part of the show was the crowd. The crowd were excellent throughout the night, but I just felt underwhelmed by WWE Clash in Italy. A lot of that comes down to I didn't really like the Cody Rhodes and Gunther matchup, and then it had a lame finish. The result of Oba Femi losing to Brock Lesnar, even though I thought the match was better than WrestleMania. I thought Rhea and Jade had just as good, if not better, a matchup than they had at WrestleMania. I'm happy for Sol Ruka winning the Intercontinental Championship, but then you also had Jacob Fatu and Roman Reigns having a match that wasn't as good as their matchup at Backlash, and then Jacob lost and then had to be a little bitch to Roman. So it's like, this is not the biggest stamp of approval for the young stars on this show. In my eyes, it felt like a very paint by the numbers PLE. And then you also had Triple H Levesque saying that this show is gonna shake up the landscape of WWE, and then it did none of that. Krssi Luv, yes, yeah, Krssi Luv, what did you think of Clash in Italy?
With this guy at this point, man.
Someone needs to take his phone away. Just like that, we had to take Tony Khan's phone away for a while. Just let's take Paul's phone away. Don't say nothing. Just don't even comment. Like, yes, I thought Jade and Rhea was actually better than Mania. Besides the little botch from B-Fab, B-Fab's gonna be B-Fab. Like, what are we gonna do? I wish they stopped making her do stuff and just make Michin do the, be the competent one. But whatever. B-Fab got to get out there. So, but I was really proud of like what Jade did, and I was like, okay, if we can get this Jade, then we can get her. I feel like you pull this Jade out, like, and keep her out. She can we can get something out of her. You know what I'm saying? Don't keep her hidden away. Just with Jade, like I hope that she can get more matches and be like, okay, this is what we've been waiting for like 4 years. You know what I'm saying? Gunther and Cody, I was very underwhelmed, very disappointed in the match. I was like, I think it's Cody that gave Gunther a bad match, because Gunther's gonna go out there and be Gunther. I think it was Cody. Soul winning, great. I mean, didn't do nothing for me, but great. What was the other match? Tribal Compact was cool. But I felt nothing. I didn't get anything from that anyway. I mean, they should just did one match and had him lose from the get-go instead of doing 2 matches. Why do we need 2?
Yeah.
Roman could have
He came out of the first match looking like he was going to be a future WWE champion, and then this match he comes out it looking like he's going to get cucked by Roman Reigns, which he did on Monday.
And then Roman was like, "I'm going to get those three over there. They're next. Okay, let's see what happens."
Oh man, this was like the biggest like slap in the face of anyone who is sick of the bloodline. When he has the MFTs come out after this match, like he's devoid of any new ideas. This Jacob Fatu booking of this rivalry with Roman Reigns, it's the same booking that we got with Jey Uso 6 years ago.
And that's what I'm saying. I was like, y'all should do just one. Well, they did two matches. They did the Hell in a Cell and they did the other match, right? Fine. Then you got Jay got in line. No problem. That's how you got main event Jay. But that was pandemic though. We're not even in that time no more. So it's like you got to see the trajectory of it all and see like everything has changed. You don't like why do you want to keep copying and pasting things? Like it's not necessary.
It's frustrating to watch WWE right now.
Yeah.
Josh, what did you think about Clash in Italy?
I felt like the show was carried by the crowd.
It was.
It's not the worst PLE this year for me, but it's definitely below. Like I thought, like Saturday night's main event was better. If we're being honest, I thought that was better than Clash. Clash just had the crowd that really, made kind of everything look good, but it really wasn't, in my opinion. Because like even the opening match, Cody and Gunther, it was less than 12 minutes. It was about 11, 12 minutes we got. And then, Cody wins. But, obviously they're trying to make it controversial. I didn't understand that. But then also it's like you're giving Cody a win that he just owns Gunther now. It's just I thought if you're going to give the title, it should have been now. Because apparently now there's a rematch in 2 weeks. I don't see what's the point of that. Like, I don't understand the point of that. It's like, you're going to have him win. Just give him the fucking title. You don't got to do all this convoluted thing where,
back and forth BS.
Yeah. Me personally, I feel like it's very unnecessary. So Ruka and Becky, I thought it was okay. So winning was surprising because, I had Becky winning. Just because they haven't done much with Soul, and her winning, it's cool, but then it's like, when you get the online discourse of everything, it kind of overshadows everything that they're trying to do, unfortunately. What else? Rhea and Jade was probably the best match, in my opinion. Which is saying a lot because Jade, we are always critical on Jade, but she works good with Rhea. And a lot of credit is to Rhea because, Rhea has become a floor general. So, that's good to see. You're one of your top stars to see where she's at now. Like, she's getting to the level of, like, what Becky Lynch did, right? Becky Lynch, her wrestling wasn't as, like, strong before. But then when she got better, she became a ring general. And now you're seeing that with Rhea. So, that's, that's good to see. Like, if you want to talk about positives, I thought that was a positive. And Roman and Jacob, I thought it was good. But I don't know, it felt too long for me. For a match like that, because it kind of like, especially like the first half kind of just felt like it was just there. Then they finally picked it up. I felt like if they would have had that same intensity from towards the end to the beginning, I thought that would be better. I thought that would be like a better matchup. And then some of the spots, like the spear, like obviously there's always going to be like a barricade spot with the spear, but it just looked kind of like goofy because you could tell like, all right, this is the thing they're going to break. This is the barricade they're going to break. And then you had security, I guess, not paying attention and they got the bad end of it. I thought that was funny. They got squashed by it. But besides that, the show was like, at most was like what I would say about 5.5 out of 10 in my opinion.
I give it a 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10. That's fair, because it was just like I just felt like the show was just there, especially for a crowd like this. It was just like, oh, all right, like that's what that is. And then obviously you have Triple H talking about like, oh, this show changes the land. No, it fucking doesn't. Can you stop saying that shit? Like it's buzzwords at this point. You know, it's like it's like, why do you gotta always do yourself to pick yourself up? Like, why do you always gotta do something like that? We're just getting started. This is what we do. Right? And it's just like, bro, no, you're not. Just shut the fuck up and just book a better show. Like, you know? And then I do agree with Krssi, like some of the things like being running back. It was like, realistically, the Bloodline stuff, am I a big fan of like them running it back? No. That's just me personally. I'm not a fan of it. Do I hate it? I don't hate it, but I'm not a fan of it. And then apparently like teasing like the MFTs again. It's like MFTs were part of the worst parts of SmackDown. Mm-hmm. Why do I want to see like them running that shit back? You know,
they are so cold right now. This is the coldest that this group has ever been, and you're teasing putting them in a main event program with the Bloodline is hilarious.
It's like, to me, like that is just like, why are we running things back? It's like it comes off like when they did with the Shield. You know, every time they had a Shield reunion, it was always like, oh my God, like we're getting the Shield back. And then it was like, not much happens. So like now you're putting Roman in a situation where it's like, I like the fact that Roman is the world champion. I like that. But it's like, what else are you doing with him? Are you just going to be running the same thing, like the Bloodline stuff again? Yep. Why is it always like Roman in that situation? Oh, Shield reunion. Oh, Bloodline reunion. Roman shouldn't be in this position like that. Somebody like Roman should not be in this position. And if it wasn't for how bad Cody's run has been, this would be also kind of a critical point for Roman. But because of that, it's kind of like, yeah, Roman is not doing great stuff. Cody's been doing worse. So
it's like, yeah, that's what we said. Like we were me and John on the review. We were like, yo, like if Roman is stale and boring, just Cody is just straight up horrible. Like he's not doing anything better. He's actually doing worse than Roman.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, and it's so funny when you see the discourse online of like, you know, you see Roman fans, you see Cody's fans, like trying to like defend like their person, and it's just like, guys, it sucks. Like there's what are you arguing about? Like one sucks more than the other. It's like that's only your saving grace at this point. And it's just like, I do agree, like they're in a period where it's like not only cold, but it's like they're trying to do things and there's nothing appealing, which is kind of crazy to me. You know what I mean? Like I always know, like outside of WrestleMania, obviously after WrestleMania, there's always going to be like that cold period. But at least like back in 2024, like they were still hot after that. Like it was still like, all right, let me watch this show.
On a high,
like they were still good. Yep. Yeah, like they were still good. Now it's just like after that, it's kind of like, all right, like let's see what sticks. You know, like I think them missing Punk, I think it's a glaring issue too, because Punk is your best in-ring performer on the main roster, in my opinion. Right, he was putting on some of the best matches of the year, and he has, he's been taking time off. He has every right to do that. But it's just, I don't know. They're in a period where it's like, I guess they're trying to figure things out, or they're trying to see what sticks. And for them to run back Bloodline and then possibly running back like, oh, Roman versus Solo again, it's like, wow, guys, like you really have like no clue of what to do going forward. That's crazy to me. I didn't even speak about the Oba Brock stuff.
Well, right, I forgot all about that.
Like Oba losing is not surprising, as long as people are like complaining about that. That's not the surprising part. But what I dislike is the fact that everybody's making a big deal of Brock Lesnar did 7 F5s to Oba kicked out of 6 of them. That's not a good thing. That's kind of just, Brock has 2 moves, so him doing the F5s, it don't mean nothing. Like kick out 6 of them. Well, Brock has 2 moves, and one of them is the F5. So what's the appeal to that?
Yeah.
I do feel like their matchup was better than Mania. Yeah. Mania had the big moment that Oba won. Because that was to put him over. And I did not have a problem with the match itself. This match, I felt like it was better. I just don't like the fact that you're making a big deal out of like, oh, he kicked out of 6 F5s. Roman did years ago too, and Roman lost that match as well. So it doesn't. What does that do for me personally? It just tells me
we got a WWE bot in the chat. We got here we go again, blaming Papa H, Triple H. I love.
Oh, that's definitely this guy.
Our chat is doing the job for us. We don't even need to say anything.
Yeah.
Papa H, the fuck, bloody hell.
I mean, that's kind of, I don't know. I mean, hey, pretty sure that's GTA again.
No, I'm very confused by this because, like, when did this person start watching wrestling? Because I've been, watching wrestling for 30 plus years. Mm-hmm. Anytime a product feels stale, a booking feels stale, they don't blame the wrestlers. You blame the booker. Vince McMahon was always getting blamed when things were not good in WWE. He always got the blame. Why do some people believe that Triple H is immune to being blamed for any of this?
And it's crazy because everybody's going to say, oh, it's TKO. Blame TKO. It's like, no, it's Triple H too. Why? Because he's had a creative. And the thing is that I'm going to keep blaming Triple H. Why? Because when everything was going great, who was getting the credit when everything was going Triple H, right? So now all of a sudden everything is bad. Now it's everybody else's fault, right? It's kind of like a job, right? Sometimes, right? Where you do so much good, nobody says something. But the moment that you do something bad, that's when they want to complain, right? And it's like, what? So now Triple H doesn't get blamed for putting on the same stuff? Like, oh, let's run back Bloodline. Like, come on. There has to be a level of accountability at this point. Everybody, like, we just got to start blaming the right people, and maybe start blaming the right people, and they actually take it well. Maybe the shows will get better.
Yeah, it's so true. We got a super chat donation here from Adrian. Thank you so much, Adrian, for the support. He says, compare WWE main event scene to AEW's. Ha ha ha. Laughing emoji. WWE stinks. This is the thing. WWE's main event scene, they have the bigger stars. They have a plethora of huge stars, but they aren't being used in the most interesting of ways. Nope. They are being used in stuff that we've already seen. We're seeing Bloodline Chapter 47. Like, me and JJ talked about it on Rated Raw Review, talking about Monday Night Raw this week. We were like Paul Heyman was dead ass back in 2023 when he said we're only, and Roman Reigns said the same thing. He said we're only in the third inning. We're only in the third inning.
They never left.
I was like, no, but I'm like, holy shit, I got it now. It hit me. The innings are years. We're only in the 6th inning of the Bloodline. Holy shit. That was like mind exploding. I was like, holy shit, these innings are a year-long innings. That's what he meant. Innings was code for years.
That's crazy, because I about to say they never left the third one. They still think that we in the third year.
Still in the bottom of the third.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I about to say, if you're in baseball, we only have 4. Well, we supposed to go 9 innings.
9 innings. Yeah. So this story ain't ending to 2030.
Fuck that. Not today, Satan.
Shit, and then we didn't even get to Raw on that site, like,
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that in a bit here. But we got to get into Friday Night SmackDown first. Last night, Friday Night SmackDown also took place from Italy in Bologna. The show featured Gunther wanting justice after being screwed by Cody Rhodes. Rhodes came out and wanted to give him his rematch right then and there, but then they were interrupted by Sami Zayn, who called out both men for screwing him over. Then Zayn challenged Cody to teach him a lesson until Gunther attacked both men from behind. He applied a sleeper to Rhodes. However, Sami did something different this time. He actually tried to help Cody and fought off Gunther. but Cody wound up hitting a dive to the outside and didn't hit Gunther. He hit Sammy instead, causing more tension between the former friends. Later, you had Gunther basically threaten Nick Aldis with legal action, saying that he's going to get his legal team to get him the rematch. Then Nick Aldis also told Sammy to stay out of Gunther and Cody's business, as he had a meeting scheduled with Chad Gable, who got a huge pop from this Italy crowd. Later, we saw Gable, who also confronted Ray Phoenix to apologize for making a mockery of Lucha Libre and trying to make amends, which Phoenix accepted, but he let him know that he wasn't the only one he offended with his actions. Finally, you had Cody was told that Gunther had his legal team work out a rematch that he gets to pick the stipulation for next week, and the rematch will go down in 2 weeks' time. Rhea Ripley came out all banged up with her knee bandaged up, but she talked about her win over Jade Cargill at WWE Clash in Italy. This brought out Charlotte Flair to reflect on them working together after years of feuding with one another, but said that she will win the Queen of the Ring and challenge Rhea for the title at SummerSlam. Then Tiffany Stratton came out to say that she wants Ripley's title as well. However, Jade Cargill, Michin, and B-Fab came out to threaten coming after the title themselves. This led to Flair suggesting she teams with Tiffy to face Jade and Michin, which led to Jade and Michin actually picking up the victory here over Charlotte and Tiffy after interference from B-Fab. Tala Tonga scored a victory over Royce Keys. Let me repeat that. Tala Tonga picked up a victory over Royce Keys thanks to interference from the MFTs. Post-match, R-Truth tried to help Keys from an MFT's beatdown, but Damian Priest stopped him and pulled him from the ring, leaving Keys to be laid out by Solo and company. Sikoa then tried to later convince Royce to join the MFTs as they prepare for war against the Bloodline soon. What is it, 2024 again? Miz got electrocuted when he started trying to destroy Danhausen's lair as comedy. Ricky Saints beat Carmelo Hayes in a pretty decent matchup, while Lash Legend scored a victory over Chelsea Green to get a bit of revenge for Nia Jax's loss the week prior. Raquel Rodriguez defeated Kiana James, JC Jane, and Bailey to advance in the Queen of the Ring tournament. Yes, she beat JC Jane.
Banner. Apparently, this was a banner match.
First post-match, of all, wrong winner, but okay, continue.
Post-match, Giulia and Kiana James split after James blamed her for the loss, and the two brawled for a bit, with Giulia getting the upper hand in her partly home country of Italy. And then later, you had Dominik Mysterio picked up a win over Damian Priest, Trick Williams, and Braun Breaker in a fun four-way main event to advance in the King of the Ring to the King of the Ring semifinals, thanks to a large amount of help from the Judgment Day. Dominik Mysterio will now face Oba Femi in the next round of the King of the Ring tournament.
Okay, well he'll lose on that one. So okay, got it.
I wouldn't hold my breath on that. I don't know.
You know what? You might be right, SP. You might be right. So okay, I didn't need to watch SmackDown. Thanks for letting me know.
I literally told y'all when I was watching it live, because I was watching it live in the UK, and I'm like, some of the booking on this show is fucking horrible. The first hour had Raquel winning that Queen of the Ring tournament matchup that had JC fucking Jane in it. Then you had freaking Tala Tonga beating Royce Keys. I was like, oh, I'm over this show. I hate this show already. I was like, if it wasn't for Chad Gable showing up, I was like, I would have stopped watching the show. Awful stuff. Josh, any quick thoughts on SmackDown last night?
Yeah, like you said, it wasn't a good show. Not their worst show, but it definitely wasn't a good show, and it's mostly because of the booking decisions. I didn't understand some of them. You had Tala Tonga beat Royce Keys. Royce Keys left AEW because of opportunity. right? He felt like he wasn't getting the right opportunities. So he left. He has a right to do that. And he always wanted to be in WWE. I understand that. But then you go to WWE, you debut at the Royal Rumble, then you get put on ice. Then you come back semi-ly, doing something. You don't have a Mania match. And now you're stuck in this vortex of Damian Priest not trusting you. And you're also in a MFT storyline, which kind of just dooms you to begin with. And then you lost to Tala Tonga.
No, the MFTs are feuding with the Bloodline. So not the worst spot.
JJ.
No, it was worse. It was worse before that. Let's call like it is. It was worse before that. And now he's stuck in this. He's stuck in this cycle, and he lost.
Oh,
you love AEW for opportunities, and you're losing to Tala Tonga.
Listen, you know, when they leave, and he was a champ over there, like he was in a good like he had a good thing going over there. But his desire to like come to WWE and be with Cody was like for a long time. Between him and Ricky, they have been dying to get onto this side of the town, like because that's his bestie. So you know, fine, whatever. But I don't think that I hope that they didn't think that they were going to be like getting the same treatment that they were getting over on the other side. Yes, JJ, that is exactly what he said. He said Raquel Rodriguez lost. You didn't hear me say when I was like, I know. I was like, wait, what? I had to catch myself because I was like, wait, she won the who? And homeboy was like, let's be grateful that she won. She won a match that she ain't been winning for how many months now because she's a loser, and she makes JCJ lose.
Oh man, I don't give a fuck.
This whole Queen of the Ring BS is just
that was terrible. She been a loser. She should have just lost again. She's already a loser. What's the point? Right?
SmackDown like had that one good stretch, and it was in January. January feels like 10 years ago.
I was like, oh, things are changing. Wow, things are. I mean, I kind of knew it was gonna go back to shit, but like, dang,
I kind of knew it too. But I was like, relishing. I was relishing in the fact that for a month, because I'll be honest with y'all, I'm a longtime SmackDown mark. I was more of a SmackDown fan than a Raw fan. After the first brand split, because SmackDown was the Rock show. And you had Brock Lesnar going on. It was something fresh. And I stopped watching Raw for a long time because Triple H was doing his reign of terror. See, there I go blaming Triple H again. I'm sorry, guys. But I couldn't stand Monday Night Raw with Triple H being in the main event scene all the time. I preferred SmackDown. I had the SmackDown 6. I had Brock Lesnar. I had Eddie Guerrero's rise. I had Chris Jericho for a little bit there. Then it was Benoit and Rey Mysterio and Edge. And I was living a good life. Like I thought I was a SmackDown guy for the longest. Then I became a SmackDown guy again, like in the next major brand split that they did in 2016 when they had Cena and AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose and Becky Lynch in the women's division, the Usos and American Alpha in the tag team division. I was living good in 2016, and I was so happy in January I could be like, yo, SmackDown's a better show than Monday Night Raw again. Like this is actually dope. This is pretty cool. But that only lasted for like 3 weeks. I'm gonna cherish those 3 weeks. I'm gonna look back on it next time I tell the story of my SmackDown fandom. It's gonna be 2002 through 2004, and then 2016, and then January 3 weeks in 2026 when I was a SmackDown writer over a Raw writer. Damn shame. Michael Allen Lewis saying, isn't Mariah May on this show now? She had another vignette where she called out Tiffany Stratton, which was like 2 different Pokemon evolutions feuding with each other, if that happens. We got of course Mariah May would be the more evolved of the two evolutions. We also got our boy Shaw Talks Graps in the chat. He says, "Yeah, what's good, family? Yeah, boy, an old man today hitting my Shaq year. Happy birthday to you,
Happy
good
birthday.
sir." He says, "Hope y'all doing well. We are for sure." We got Short King the Goat. He says, "Yep, they whitewashed Giulia. Laugh my ass off." Yes, that straight hair is hilarious to me. And we got a super chat donation here from Dion Jenkins. Thank you so much, Dion, for the support. Dion saying, "Braun's already out, and it's gonna be Seth. Absolute shit." Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, come on, man. Who banned Baby Oil? I wanted to see what Baby Oil had to say. I didn't even get to see their next comment, their next response. God damn. You gotta hold on. We gotta play with their emotions a little bit before we start banning.
Let me see. Oh yeah, I did see it quick and then it was gone. Something about like, oh, they telling us to let Triple H cook.
No, what? So why'd you ban him? I wanted to see that. I wanted to.
No, what did it mean? I saw it quick.
Oh, then it was probably one of our. It's probably one of our moderators who did that. We got Talatonga, Drew Top Guy JJ saying Talatonga beat Royce Keys. Thank God I don't watch SmackDown until I'm obliged to. That means when he's on the Tru Heel Heat flagship podcast, that's when he watches SmackDown. Hey, good for you. You only have to watch it once a month. I feel great for you. Goku saying Batista on SmackDown was elite. I was more of a Raw guy because I was more of a John Cena guy over Batista. I'll be honest. We got Goku saying I'm more a SmackDown fan more than a Raw fan, but man, I can't watch SmackDown. It's boring. It is. It's really bad right now. Really, really bad. Mr. Town says Giulia should have stayed in Stardom or went to AEW. I mean,
and the blonde hair is not going to help that either. So
I mean, she's always had blonde hair. Just straight white hair is not.
That's what I'm saying. Like she's had like this hair now, like this whole like transition. I was like, this is not going to help your character, but okay, girl, do you?
No, but to me, it's just kind of crazy that with Giulia, when she was about to go to free agency, like she was highly regarded with WWE. Like, oh no, we're gonna do that, and then she's gonna come over, and then she's come over, and it's like, yeah, maybe should have probably just stayed or go somewhere else.
Yeah, I agree. They should have. She should have. But hey, can't make that decision now. Gotta live with your choices, even if it was bad.
Until you're either free, then you go.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens there. We got our good friend Auntie Collins in the chat. Good to see you. That's Hod from Because We Are, favorite person in the chat, saying good morning, happy Saturday. Good to see you as always. And we got King Greg who says cook bland ass food. Yes.
I don't think I think he does. He uses microwaves. He just reheats stuff. That's all he's doing right now.
Yeah,
he's like
reheating the nachos. Yep, Applebee's. Hungry man dinners. We got WWE.
The Hungry Man's had the little dessert on the side though. You know what I'm saying? Was that the kid?
Now those be good. Yeah, when I'm not with my missus and I'm back in the city and I'm on my own, those Hungry Man's come in clutch with the brownies. If you cook it right, real good. All right, we got Monday Night Raw this week. The show featured Roman Reigns coming out and the Usos to open up the broadcast with an acknowledgement ceremony for Jacob Fatu, who came out and accepted his faith by acknowledging Roman Reigns as his tribal chief after teasing some tension with Jey Uso. He got down on one knee and bowed to Roman Reigns, extended his hand for Roman to shake it, which he did. and invited him and welcomed him into the Bloodline as they put up their ones in solidarity. You had Oba Femi. He defeated Solo Sikoa, Carmelo Hayes, and Penta in a very fun 4-way matchup to advance in the King of the Ring tournament. After the matchup, Oba called out Brock Lesnar and reminded him that they are now 1-1 and this isn't over quite yet. Meanwhile, Io Sky scored a victory over Giulia, Roxanne Perez, and Lash Legend in a decent 4-way matchup to advance to the Queen of the Ring semifinals. Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee picked up a win over Ethan Page and Rusev in a good tag team bout. As then you had in the main event, Seth Rollins defeated Braun Breaker in an awesome match after Breaker speared Paul Heyman through the barricade and then speared Seth with the World Tag Team title around his waist in a callback to the Goldberg Bret Hart segment from WCW in 1999. So I will say, Monday Night Raw, actually better than SmackDown and Clashing in Italy this week.
Yes. That's saying a lot.
The only solid episode, only solid piece of product that WWE main roster gave us this week.
Yeah.
So we can say.
Hey, the Oba Femi entrance, that's a candidate for moment of the week.
Yeah.
Him coming out, smacking everybody, and then hitting his pose. Great stuff. One of my favorite entrances of the whole year. With that Italy crowd going crazy for him. Great stuff. Me and JJ enjoyed that. But yeah, just but another example though, Josh, Krssi, of WWE saying, fuck these YNs. Braun Breaker loses in the main event. Young niggas can't buy a victory in WWE.
And then we're you know, and it's kind of crazy because WWE fans, they're trying to convince themselves that, oh yeah, they are pushing younger talent. Oh, look at the talent that's on the main roster right now. Okay, they're on the main roster. What's going on? You know what I mean? Like, where's the substance? Right? It's like people want to talk about like, oh, you know, like they gave Soruka the belt. Okay, they gave her the belt. She wasn't winning before that. And they gave her the belt anyway. That's not good. That's not a good thing. Like, what are we doing? You know? And I felt like, you know, they were doing good things with Trick early on, but then that gingerbread stuff happened. And to me, it just made him less cool.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
Braun Breaker comes back, you know, back. And now he's paired up because Logan Paul got injured. So now Braun Breaker is the tag champ with Austin.
I saw that mess. I was like, wait, what? Also, we're doing like the New Day. Okay, we're just gonna just.
And now you're trying to justify him losing because he's already a tag champion, so we're not gonna push him. All right, I'm trying to figure out what's good about the young movement in WWE. I'm trying to figure it out.
Josh, they're skyrocketing these guys. Everybody's getting skyrocketed. Remember that argument I had earlier this week?
Oh man, that was such a stupid. Oh my god, that guy. Oh. But that's what I mean about WWE fans when they do stuff like this, right? You're making comments like that, and it's like that's ridiculous. Like if you like something, that's fine. But like when you use words like that, it's like, come on, that's bullshit.
You don't understand the words that are coming out of your mouth if you think that they're skyrocketing Sol Ruka because she's the women's intercontinental champion. She's won one victory, one match, and she beat the greatest women's wrestler of all time, who also lost to Maxine Dupree just 3 months ago. Like, what are we talking about?
Like, make that make sense exactly as SP. Repeat it for the people that's all the way in the back.
She lost her Maxine. She lost her feud against AJ Lee and only was able to win it at WrestleMania. I mean, is that a big high ceiling to like really brag about when it comes to that?
They're skyrocketing Trick Williams because he beat perennial loser Sami Zayn. They're skyrocketing him.
You know,
I'm just being real. I just gotta be real.
No.
Like,
I never thought of it that way. He is a loser. No, but you're right. I just never thought like he's like He's a winner, but a loser at the same time, if that makes sense, right? Like that he loses so much that they want him to win, but
No,
he never will win.
He's a loser. By all means, he's a loser, and they sprinkle in wins. Sami Zayn's still a loser.
They're skyrocketing Oba Femi because he beat Brock Lesnar, and then it took them a month for Brock to get his win back and kind of diminish that.
Yeah, that was just stupid. That's why I don't like him. This feud. You should.
Yeah, the thing is that I don't mind him losing. What I do mind is the fact that you had this man, you had like a perfect send-off. If you didn't do that send-off, I wouldn't have an issue with it, but it's the fact that you had this man literally retired, took off his shoes, and that was a good send-off, and everyone was chanting, "Thank you, Brock. Thank you, Brock." I didn't think Brock. Fuck Brock. But that was a good send-off. And then now that means absolutely nothing because we're probably going to get it again at Minnesota, right? You should have just done that to begin with. You should have just done that at Minnesota if that's the case. But that's where that's for me is kind of like, I don't mind that Brock won because obviously they're trying to build a trilogy between them. That's fine. That's business. But that also kind of takes away the fact that, Oba is not going to face Roman at SummerSlam. You know, that's kind of what we thought. And now it's like, oh, he's on face Brock. Okay. So we're just going to have to wait a little bit longer for Oba to win the title. You know, it is what it is. But at least Oba didn't lose momentum. I didn't think he was going to lose momentum. I think that was kind of just, people just didn't want him to lose. But, they did a great job what they did on Monday to at least like kind of capitalize off, Oba still, he's still their future, in my opinion.
Yeah. I still think Oba is the future, and he's probably gonna be the first young guy that wins a world title. But let's not act like they're skyrocketing. Skyrocketing him would be if they did the booking that most of us thought they were gonna do. He beats Brock Lesnar, goes on an undefeated streak, wins the King of the Ring, and then beats Roman at SummerSlam. They are definitely slow burning this shit, and we're not probably going to get the Oba versus Roman matchup until WrestleMania next year, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit here. I did want to highlight this comment here from Kevin. Once again, he says, "Where's Jordan Grace and Ilja Dragunov?" I didn't have this in my notes, but I read this morning. Did you see the Wrestling Observer report? Wrestling Observer newsletter reported that Ilja Dragunov is reportedly not viewed eternally as a top guy by higher ups, but rather as an interchangeable mid-card talent. This dude has put on some of the best matches in WWE of the last decade. Interchangeable mid-card talent.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me. It sucks.
This is just proof in concept that he's in the wrong company.
Yeah. He's one of the best workers in the company, and
he's one of the best workers in the world. I would put Ilja Dragunov. If Ilja Dragunov was on the AEW roster, I would say he's a top 5, top 10 worker in the company.
Easily. Oh yeah, easily. And that's kind of just and I can't also be that harsh of him being in WWE just because of the UK stuff, right? The UK movement happened. Obviously, he signed, and he did have some great moments, and he's had great moments. But it's very clear that it's like, yeah, bro, probably should go to AEW when you have the opportunity to go.
Yeah. He doesn't have the height, and really I've seen it multiple times, and I can't say these people are wrong, but multiple people are now posting, retweeting that tweet of that report and putting up the video of Brock no-selling him in the Rumble and saying this was the turning point of his whole entire WWE career.
Oh, and it wouldn't surprise me if it was, because that did a lot of damage for him, and it's kind of crazy because he did absolutely nothing wrong. He was doing his job, and a guy in the ring didn't give a shit.
Yeah. I'll repeat that again for our boy Matthew Hooks. Thanks for joining us today. But yeah, the Wrestling Observer newsletter reported that Ilja Dragunov is reportedly not viewed eternally as a top guy by higher ups, but rather as an interchangeable mid-card talent, meaning that you can have a Ilja Dragunov, you can have a Miz. You can have a Ilja Dragunov, you can have a Kit Wilson. You could have an Ilja Dragunov. You could have just about anyone we could pick out of a lineup. He's not that important to them.
Damn.
He's been zignified. That is a great verb. That is great verbiage.
He'll be zignified if he starts losing a lot.
He's just not being used at all.
Yeah, that's the thing.
He's being benched, basically.
You gotta have fans defend that. Like, well, he's not losing. Well, he's not winning either. So fuck you defending.
I think people just got to stop using this like, oh, that's one of Triple H's guys. We just seen one of the guys that people called one of Triple H's guys, Tommaso Ciampa, leave the company because he wasn't getting opportunities, and now he's in AEW. You got Johnny Gargano, another guy that's viewed as a Triple H guy. He's just backstage, just laying down, having a nap on every episode of Monday Night Raw. You got another guy who's a Triple H guy, Karrion Kross, who got lowballed in negotiations and now is out of the company. Like, there is no such thing. The only Triple H guys now are Cody, Gunther, Seth, CM Punk.
Yeah. And you also Aleister Black, and he was fired. So
damn shame. It's sad. We got Parjay Finisher who says if that's the case, then at least he knows his value and can with his options to leave, which I would. I mean, we'll see if he does that. We got Dion in the chat, who's been a member of the channel for 13 months. Shout outs to you, Dion, one of our loyal and active members of the community here. Always love seeing you in the chat, good brother. We got another super chat donation here from Adrian Carpenter. Thank you so much, Adrian, for the support. It says, want to see young talent pushed? AEW. You got MJF, you got Fletcher, Knight, Takeshita. I mean, yeah. I mean, you got some WWE talent that are getting legitimate pushes. Oba Femi, Trick Williams. I mean, but I just want more. I just want more for them. And I'm not really getting that at this point. But we'll talk more about that because we got to talk about WWE's other activities this week. Besides undermining talent, we got to talk about them announcing some more counter programming, baby. Let's go. WWE has decided to counter program AEW Forbidden Door as WWE Hall of Famer and NXT executive producer Shawn Michaels announced on Tuesday. The first NXT premium live event special that will be broadcast on the CW will be NXT The Great American Bash, which will be held on Sunday, June 28th. It will be presented live on network television on the CW. Michaels wrote in the caption of his video on Twitter that he's excited to finally share this one. At WWE NXT and at the CW present the Great American Bash Sunday, June 28th at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. See you tonight for hashtag WWE NXT at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. As previously reported, WWE and the CW announced in late April that the NXT Premium Live events will be moving to the CW later this year, starting with the Great American Bash. Under the agreement, the CW will air 20 NXT PLEs in their entirety and live on both coasts over the next several years. The event is notably happening on the same date as AEW NJPW Forbidden Door 2026, which is held for the same date and basically the same time. Also on that same day will be TNA Slammiversary 2026 is also being held on June 28th, but it will start earlier in the day. Dave Meltzer addressed the announcement on Wednesday's Wrestling Observer Radio, questioning why WWE made this decision, saying that it wasn't a coincidence. Meltzer stating, why are they doing this? I mean, we know why they're doing it. We also know that in a couple of days they'll claim, oh, no. It was just a coincidence. And it's never a coincidence. be continued, but I mean, this is like they were doing this last year, and it's like, don't you learn? I mean, last year they were trying to hurt AEW's numbers. They put show after show up against AEW pay-per-views, and it never worked. And in this case, that's the identical. This identical to this one. I believe was July 11th or last year or July 12th, whatever the day was where they just steamrolled Atlanta. They did the NXT show in the afternoon, the Bill Goldberg retirement in the evening, and then they did the Women's Evolution show the next day. And AEW did AEW All In Texas, which was the biggest show of the year. So the idea was they put the Goldberg match head to head. Tony moves the show to the afternoon. Then they put the NXT show in the afternoon because we really got him. We got him boxed in this big stadium show. Well, God bless you. The dust settled, and forget about the quality of the shows. I mean, which is obvious. The AEW had a phenomenal show. Meltzer questioned why WWE wants to put an NXT show head to head with an AEW pay-per-view. Do you really want to put an NXT PLE on the same day head to head with an AEW pay-per-view? Because all it does is invite comparisons. And I mean, like the level of the shows that AEW is doing now, you don't want to be compared to that. And you don't want your main roster compared to that, but you sure as hell don't want NXT compared to that. Additionally, Meltzer pointed out that the Saturday night's main event had the lowest global number for all the Saturday night's main event shows with 100,000 global views on Netflix. Meanwhile, AEW All In Texas drew its fourth biggest pay-per-view number in the company's history and its biggest pay-per-view buy rate of the year. Meltzer speculated that the WWE officials think that they continue to attack AEW. Eventually, we're going to do damage. Also, Meltzer predicted that TNA Slammiversary, which is scheduled for earlier in the day on June 28th, will be screwed the most by happening on the same date as NXT, the Great American Bash, and Forbidden Door, despite TNA being NXT's promotional partner. On June 28th, Slammiversary airs at 3 p.m. Eastern Time start time. Meanwhile, AEW and NXT are advertised for 7 p.m. start times for their respective events. Of course, the AEW 7 p.m. will be for the 0 hour, while NXT will air live on the CW starting at 7 p.m. So, what do you think about WWE putting a fourth show on that weekend, because that is the same weekend as WWE Night of Champions, which will air live on June 27th, the Saturday. And then you got NXT the next day going head-to-head with Forbidden Door, while Slammiversary will be earlier in the day. And the big question is, do you think that this counter-programming by WWE hurts AEW, or does it hurt TNA more? Krssi?
Well, this just proves that WWE doesn't give a shit about TNA. But yeah, TNA is definitely going to just, like, no one's going to give a shit about that show. No one's going to really buy it unless, you know, like, I think WWE is like, oh, yo, well, you know, our show's on CW, so it's free. You don't have to pay for it unless you're paying your cable provider. But, you know, AEW, you have to pay for that pay-per-view, that premium live event. So, you know, look at what we're doing. We're giving you something free, but nobody wants to see that free shit. Sorry, Sean. I you know, like, love you to pieces, but like, I'm not. I don't plan on watching your show at all. I'm just telling you, like, what I couldn't care less if you was going against the Queen of Sheba. I'm not watching it. I know what I am going to watch because I know it was going to give me great matches. And just like Dave Meltzer said, which I'm happy to say, he was like, why would you guys do this yet again? Just to go and say, oh, you know, well, it was this. Like you make excuses for yourself when you put yourself in these corners. Like, when y'all look at the calendars and y'all book these things, y'all don't even need to put these shows on. Do we need a Great American Bash weekend that weekend? No. Who asked for that? And y'all got Night of Champions the night before. Who told y'all to do this? But yeah, WWE don't give a shit about TNA. TNA, I don't think anyone is really gonna give it. And what time they show come on?
What? The TNA show?
Yeah, the TNA show.
3 p.m. Eastern.
Nobody's not on a Sunday. Yeah. The World Cup is happening still, right?
Oh shoot, you're all right. Yeah.
Didn't think about that.
Shit, it hasn't even started yet.
It hasn't started yet, but it will be in full swing by then.
Yeah, but by then, yeah, you're gonna it's gonna be balls deep.
Yep. Way deep.
So what do you think? What do you think, Josh? Does this counter programming hurt AEW or does it hurt TNA more?
It hurts TNA way more because last year when WWE attempted to do it to AEW, it just drove fans more to watch AEW. Fans got behind AEW more because WWE was doing this, and the biggest example, I wouldn't even consider All In like the best example. The only thing I would consider that is that was very obviously that was counter programming and they tried to fast pace everything. They had they returned Evolution, which to their credit, that was probably their best PLE last year for them, but I think what hurt them was not the perception before that, and then also their ticket sales. That's what hurt the show itself. And that's why there was zero announcement of them having another one this year. But the biggest example to me was All Out. All Out, they were trying to hurt it because of WrestlePalooza, and that backfired 100%. Why? Because AEW moved it up front, and they still did the numbers that nobody really expected. Everybody was like, oh, it's probably going to do a little bit over 100K. It's going to do less than 100K. And they actually did what they usually draw. So it's not going to hurt AEW. It's going to hurt TNA. Well, but to be fair, I thought TNA was already doomed from the start, even going against AEW. Why? Because these two are pay-per-view shows. You're going to have people make a choice to pay to what they want to watch. That's why it hurts TNA. They're already hurt before this. Now it's just even more. And the reason why it's even more is because last year when they did Slammiversary, a big part of that were having NXT talents. Your main event had an NXT talent. Then you had AJ Styles come back, make an appearance just to cut a promo. You don't have none of that for Slammiversary this year. What's your biggest selling point? Right? You want me to choose between Forbidden Door, Slammiversary. I mean, it's a slam dunk for me. I mean, it's Forbidden Door. I mean, we're going to get better quality matches on Forbidden Door. So it's like, why am I choosing TNA? What are you selling me for TNA that's going to be like, all right, I gotta tune in. You did it last year. Last year you were able to fool a lot of people. You ain't fooling nobody this year. So, them adding NXT, I don't think it's that. I mean, obviously it's a big deal but I don't think it's that big of a deal because it's not going to hurt AEW. Is it stupid on them? Yes, because you're hurting the NXT brand. That's what you did last year. NXT has never recovered since then because you kept doing that. You want NXT to be its own separate thing to have people focus on that. This doesn't help NXT. Like, it doesn't help them at all. So for them to try to counter programming, sure, you could counter program, but then you're hurting the partner that you said you're going to help. To me, this just confirms after the TV deal, they cared less. We all kind of saw that. We all knew that was going to happen. Like, yeah, once TNA gets their TV deal, WWE is going to have TNA fund themselves. That's what we've been seeing all year. Like, who you're bringing to the show? Stacks? Ooh, we got Stacks from NXT to watch TNA. Okay, cool. That's all you have. You're gonna have people pay a TNA pay-per-view to watch Stacks? That's your biggest selling point? I'm not watching
Ariana Grace.
Even that, the champion. Your champion is not even your own person of the company. Like, that's crazy.
Oh no, she lost. She lost the title. She lost the title.
Oh, she did. Oh, thank God.
Yeah, she lost the to Lei Ying Lee. Kevin saying, don't be surprised if you see main event, roster talent show up on NXT. You won't, because those guys are going to be in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, they're screwed. The main roster's in the other side of the world. So it's like, even so,
they wouldn't even make it back in time if they wanted to.
And then NXT is doing their own show. So you have absolutely nobody. You have nobody that's going to sell that show for. But I mean, TNA did it to themselves. So I don't feel bad for them. They did it to themselves. You kind of knew what you were getting yourself into. You were desperate for that TV deal, right? You were willing to twerk for them. And then, you got your TV deal. Now your perception has been shit because of it. I don't feel bad one bit. I feel bad for the talent. I think some of the talents, they have a roster with, certain talent that I think they're very talented. I think if they have the opportunity, I would want them to leave so they could actually get paid. But TNA is gonna TNA, and this is a great example of TNA once again.
Yeah, never fails. This is what TNA is always gonna do. They're gonna
TNA.
Well, I don't really feel like this is TNA's fault. TNA, let's be clear and fair. TNA announced Slammiversary before AEW announced Forbidden Door on the day. Of course, Forbidden Door was planned to be on this day weeks ahead before TNA even made their announcement. They just couldn't make their announcement until after WWE did their show in San Jose. So I'm gonna be fair to TNA. TNA did nothing wrong here, but the only thing they did wrong is getting in bed with WWE.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. Like, for them, for the partnership, like, that's why I don't feel bad for them, because it's like you kind of knew what you're getting. But then also the main thing I forgot to mention, last year TNA drew one of the biggest shows, the Slammiversary, over 7,000 people. This year, have you seen the ticket sales for that show?
They haven't even sold 3,000 yet.
They haven't even moved. They haven't even moved half the arena, and it's been like that for weeks.
Yeah.
So
nothing that they are setting up, it seems like that's gonna do the trick, honestly, at this point. So they're in a really fucked position right now.
No, they are, and again, they did it to themselves, and somebody like Matt Hardy, again, ever since he made those freaking comments, ever since he went to wave the flag, shit been downhill for them.
Yep. He is haunted. He is haunted by all of that. Forbidden Door, their ticket sales weren't doing that great either, but I know they do have more tickets sold than Slammiversary at this point. But we'll see how it goes now that actually matches are going to be announced. They know for sure that Will Ospreay will be in the Owen Hart Cup final at this point, and we'll know next week who he's facing after Dynamite Summer Blockbuster. But we'll talk about that more in a bit here, because we also got to talk about the other big news that came from WWE this week, and that is the new Blockbuster show that's going to be coming out very soon. Have you guys heard about it? It's called Liar Liar, starring Nick Khan, because Nick Khan is all about the lies, ladies and gentlemen. Nick Khan says that despite the common perception to the contrary, WWE never changed their creative plans for WrestleMania 40. The 2024 WrestleMania appeared to undergo a pivot in the main event as Cody Rhodes won the Royal Rumble and then gave his match with Roman Reigns to The Rock on the following SmackDown after the show, seemingly out of nowhere. The fan pushback was intense, and it led to probably one of their most thumbs down videos on YouTube. It led to fans basically be creating this "We Want Cody" movement that went down on shows and on social media. WWE seemed to pivot when it came to Cody Rhodes and reclaimed his rightful earned match, while Rock and Roman Reigns teamed against Rhodes and Seth Rollins on night one of WrestleMania. Rhodes then went on to defeat reigns and to win the undisputed WWE Championship at the Night 2 event, thus finishing his story. While the accepted narrative, even seen in WWE's WrestleMania 40 Behind the Curtain documentary, said that WWE changed their plans, Nick Khan says otherwise now. In a talk with Sports Business Journal, the Q&A, which was recorded in April, released on Tuesday, saw Khan asked about the pivot, and he says that things were always intended to play out the way that it did. On the WrestleMania 40 plans, he says, by the way, the plan was always how it ended up in Philly 2 years ago. Sometimes it's predetermined outcome in wrestling. You want to throw the fans off. You want to let things bake. And then boom, it ends up the way that we wanted it to end up. It never changed. That was just online rumors and gossip that we were changing. It never changed. We convinced Dwayne Johnson to come back. He was on our board of directors. It was a tag team matchup. He's about the same age as I am. So 2 years ago, let's say he was 50. You know, he was obviously in a phenomenal shape. He did everything that we asked of him and then some. But that was always the result we were looking for. On if there's ever a pivot based on online criticism, Khan said, we will never respond to social media criticism. Again, if ratings are down, if revenue is down, if relevancy is down, it's up to us, not the fans.
What the fuck?
Somebody said, someone, no one book him ever again, okay? Like he can't come outside. He can't do shows no more.
I love this man. This is my hero. He has given me endless content. This is the guy that I said was the real MVP of WWE. I very much regret ever saying that because he has just made me look like a dumbass every time he talks. Any thoughts on Nick Khan lying? The fact that they had a documentary which had The Rock, Triple H, Cody Rhodes all day that the plans change. Cody Rhodes has gone on multiple different interviews and said that the plans change for him at WrestleMania multiple times over the last couple of years. And then he goes on this Q&A and says this bullshit. He is a phenomenal liar. He is up there. I wish that he had a kid that can make a wish and that he can never lie for a day. And then he did the Q&A. This would be amazing. This would be the real life liar. Krssi Luv, what's your response to Nick Khan's comments?
You should not do any more. You can't talk no more. Don't let him do any type of like public speaking because if it was supposed to be a secret, it ain't gonna be. He gonna tell. This makes them look even more stupid. You put out all these behind the scenes. This is why they shouldn't be doing these behind the scene documentaries at all. Because then we'll bring up the file. Like people got Rolodexes, and they got receipts, and they're gonna bring it back and look. How you gonna clean this up, friend? How do you clean this up?
Like, where's the lie? I agree with Dion. Like, you're either saying that The Rock and Triple H and Cody, all these people lied in their multiple interviews and in the documentary, or you're saying that you're lying. Somebody lied here, apparently, from what you're saying. If this was always the plan, it was always supposed to happen this way. We never respond to social media criticism, despite your entire undisputed WWE championship build-up to this year's WrestleMania was Pat McAfee going on national TV talking about cage match ratings. Josh, what do you think about liar? Pants on Nick Khan is on fire.
Well, I mean, to be honest, if he's a fucking idiot, the thing is, I mean, he's been lying for a minute, and I understand corporate talk, right? You're trying to defend your brand, but I also, the way that you have respect and the way you will have good integrity is if you're actually honest about things, right? So the fact that not only you just lied about the whole thing that happened to pivot, but you're trying to lie about. Oh my God!
Goldfish. I got a pet
Oh
goldfish.
my God!
She
just said that.
I got a pet fish to show you.
Oh my
You
God!
gonna go get it?
Yes.
Okay. Can you get my headphones back?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to show that my new pet.
She just like, yo, she yanked the shit out of that phone. I was like, oh, hold it, yo. No, but I was saying,
I mean, Yank was.
yeah. So like he's lying about the pivot, right? Which it was changed because of line perception. So the fact that you're saying that we don't change things based off our line perception, I mean, that's already a lie. You know, Vince did it a few times too. Oh, she's doing it again.
I couldn't show my
Oh my
goldfish
God.
because I don't hold the fish ball. It's gonna spill water everywhere.
Look at Sid.
Oh.
Bye,
It's
Harlan.
okay.
Oh my God.
She seems devastated.
Oh,
She's devastated.
and spill water everywhere. Sorry, Josh.
No.
She interrupted you twice.
Yeah, I'm like, damn. No, but right now only he lied about the perception, but then he lied about like when he was like, oh, that if the perception is down and the ratings are down, to us is up. No, it's not. That's not how math works. What the fuck you mean? Like, that's not how that shit works. It's like WrestleMania. Last year they did 117,000 people combined. 118,000 people combined. This year was 101,000 combined. Well, in what universe that's more than last year? That doesn't add up. Like, fuck you mean? Like, that's just weird. Again, I understand corporate talk. I understand people from corporate lie all the time. But then it's like, when you guys put out the numbers yourself, how can you lie about that? Like, you can't lie about that. And then even with the whole thing, with the whole pivot that happened 2 years ago, that was your best thing that happened to you guys. So don't try to say this whole thing about like, oh, that was always the plan. So your plan was to make Dwayne look like a dick. Like that was your plan. I don't understand how's that a plan. How that's a good plan. You hurt his real life perception because of that. I don't agree that was the plan. I mean, we all know like it's BS, but the fact that you're trying to spin it, you're trying to convince people. You probably, I mean, obviously he is fooling a lot of people because they probably do believe him. But it's the fact that the things that you're lying about, it could be proven. It could be easily proven. So I just don't understand why you just lie about it.
Because he's Nick Khan and he thinks he can get away with murder. He thinks he can get away with it all and no one will ask anything.
Well, that's why he has to face the U.S. government now. So
exactly.
We'll see how that goes.
Legengus signal.
For what?
For the shareholders lawsuit.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We talked about that last week.
Good luck, buddy. Good luck, buddy.
We'll see what happens, guys. What we got to talk about someone else, another major star in WWE, not in management, but he has almost as much power. Roman Reigns, because apparently he's in line for some big matches coming up soon. During a recent edition of Self-Made Sessions for the Self-Made Pro YouTube channel, Ebu of Self-Made reported some details about future matchups for the reigning World Heavyweight Champion, with WWE reportedly having planned Reigns to work programs with Oba Femi and Seth Rollins in the foreseeable future. It's been reported that WWE is considering either Rollins or Reigns as a potential challenger for Reigns at Rollins or Femi, as a potential challenger for Reigns at SummerSlam, with the other matchup being saved for WrestleMania 43 next year in Saudi Arabia. Also, Self-Made Pro said these matchups will happen at the first aforementioned premium live event unless Dwayne The Rock Johnson opts to wrestle Roman Reigns at WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia. Selfmade Pro also added that he was told that the plan right now is for Seth Rollins to win the King of the Ring tournament and face Roman Reigns. That would mean that Rollins would earn the title shot by winning the King of the Ring tournament and go on to face Reigns for the belt at WWE SummerSlam in August. That would presumably free up Femi to finish up his program with Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam in August. Going by the rumor, it would suggest that Femi will be Reigns' potential opponent at WrestleMania 43 unless The Rock decides to wrestle there next year. The Rock has not made a WWE TV appearance since Elimination Chamber Toronto in February of last year. But what do you guys think? We'll do our usual 0 to 100. We'll do 0 to 100. How high percentage are you putting on Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins being the main event of SummerSlam? And then Roman Reigns versus Oba Femi being the main event of WrestleMania. So we'll do 0 to 100 for SummerSlam, 0 to 100 for WrestleMania. Start with Krssi Luv, 0 to 100. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. Do you think it's happening?
I'll give that, yeah, because Seth Rollins probably going to win King of the Ring. So, 75.
Josh?
SummerSlam, I give it 90%.
Yeah, that seems very likely. I'm putting it at 85. I'll be right in the middle of y'all both. And then Roman Reigns, Oba Femi for WrestleMania. I'm gonna put that at 50% because I think that The Rock could say yes in like November, in January of next year, and they will just say, Oba, you can go over here. You can go over here somewhere. We got time with Oba. He's only 28. He's 28 years old. We got like 10 years with Oba Femi. He'll be fine. We'll put him over here. He can wait, and they'll go with The Rock over Oba Femi. So I'll put that at 50%. Krssi?
I'm gonna probably do about 40. Yeah, I'll do like 45%. They're not really concerned about Oba Femi right now with Roman. That's like really like the last result. They got that like all the way at the back. Like they're not concerning themselves right now.
Josh?
5%.
We got people with 0% in the chat. Damn, y'all just like, I mean, yeah. Mr. Bonda does make a good point. He's like, Oba is young black, so based on a Fed logic, 0%. Yeah, not so much. There we go. But speaking of these two gentlemen, we got more WWE news, and it's about the King of the Ring tournament. Of course, the King of the Ring tournament is underway, and a new report has a note about the expected favorites for the tournament. As reported earlier this week, the winner of the King of the Ring tournament had not been decided at the point the brackets were announced during the WWE Clash in Italy post-show, and they were at least 3 names in consideration at that point. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, the current favorites are expected to be Seth Rollins or Oba Femi. Once again, Rollins and Femi are at the top of the betting odds for the tournament, with both of them at a negative 200 favorite position. Femi, of course, won his King of the Ring Fatal 4-Way first round matchup against Penta, Carmelo Hayes, and Solo Sikoa on Monday. Rollins will be facing Javon Evans, Tala Tonga, and Ricky Saints on Monday's show. Dave Meltzer did some speculation, noting that he felt it was too early to give Femi a world title shot. He also noted that Rollins versus Reigns was the original plan for WrestleMania 42 before Rollins' shoulder injury derailed those plans. The winner of the King of the Ring tournament will be determined at a Night of Champions on June 27th, and the winner will get a World Heavyweight or Undisputed WWE Championship matchup at SummerSlam in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The 2-night event takes place on August 1st and 2nd, and the Night of Champions will also feature the Queen of the Ring tournament final as well. But let's get our predictions. What is your predictions? I mean, based on our percentages, I think we all know what we're going with, but yeah, my prediction for the King of the Ring tournament is Seth Rollins is winning, unfortunately. Krssi?
I don't know why they want to pour this down our throats like yet again, but I don't know why we need Seth and Roman. For whatever reason, they keep going with the same old, copy and paste.
So who you think is winning? The King of the Ring.
Seth Rollins. I'm sorry.
Josh.
Oh, Seth Rollins is winning.
So we're all in agreement. No one's gonna pick Oba Femi. No one thinks Oba's gonna win.
No, if he does, I would be really surprised.
That's booking's fault. I blame booking for that.
That's awful. All right, we got the Queen of the Ring tournament bracket as well. Who's your prediction for the Queen of the Ring tournament? My original prediction is now eliminated. My original prediction was JC Jane. So now I'm probably going to go with Io Sky to win the tournament. Krssi?
They want to do Io and Rhea for whatever reason.
I don't even think they're going to do Io and Rhea. I think Io probably beats Liv in the finals, and then they rematch it at SummerSlam.
Okay.
Josh?
I guess Io. I guess Io wins.
Okay. No Charlotte? No Charlotte picks? You know what? I'll switch it up. Since y'all are going with Io, I'll go with Charlotte, because I think they're going to do Charlotte versus Rhea at SummerSlam.
Okay.
I mean, that'd be a good matchup. I mean, they've worked well together.
We've seen it already.
I mean, no,
but they always work well with one another. So
yeah, I don't mind it. People piss off people again. Charlotte. People remember that Charlotte is still in the company, and then people remember, like, wait a minute, she was like a 20-time champion. Like why she be pushed again?
Yep, they're just gonna run it back. Do the Jey Uso, run it back. We got call me Mr. Bonda, King Seth Rollins. It's the only accomplishment in his career that he hasn't gotten yet.
So that means we have to get it now.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that's probably their thinking.
Okay, whatever, girl.
We got another super chat donation here. Thank you so much. Dion, he says they better let Braun beat Punk at SummerSlam at least. I wouldn't hold my breath, sir.
I was about to say the same. Dion, I wish that was the case, but they don't care.
I hold my breath on that, brother. Wouldn't hold my breath. We got another super chat donation from our good brother Chuck Berries. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries, for the support. He says, I try my damnest to not to compare WWE to AEW, but when they force feed me with this counter programming BS, how the fuck am I not supposed to compare or even resist comparing? They're not the same. Yeah, it's just I have issues with AEW, and we'll talk about that, what I had issues with on this week's programming, but it always feels like they make an effort, a way more of an effort to entertain me or give me a quality pro wrestling show more than WWE. WWE always comes off like they have a nigga, we already got your money. We already got your money, nigga. Don't need to give you no quality wrestling. You better be happy. It got 3 letters in front of it. WWE. You should praise it. And if you don't praise it, we have a million fans that are gonna tell you you're a fucking idiot for not liking it.
Yep. WWE's Sam Jackson from Django.
WWE fans are like Sam Jackson from
That's what it's trying to be.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. That WWE fans are Sam Jackson from Django. Tell me I'm lying. Very great comparison.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, that is a great comparison. It really is.
What you mean, and I'm not trying to call you out. Like I seen it the other day. I was like, I'm not trying to call it. Like, so you are you trying to undermine me? Well, no. Do you treat this man with respect?
Massa? I'm sorry, Massa. We also got Chuck Berries with another super chat donation. Thank you so much once again, good brother. Always appreciate your support. You definitely helped us out last week. Appreciate you for that as well.
Yes, sir.
He says, I can honestly see Dwayne giving up his seat on the TKO board by the end of this year, at least. Do you guys see that, though? Because they seemingly discredit this guy at any turn now. He doesn't have to do anything, so why would he give up his seat?
No. He's making money off of it, just not to show up. He's like, he has like $40 million worth of shares. He's not going to do that.
Yeah, there's no point for him to be a part of the TKO board of directors. He's getting paid for not being there, so he's perfectly fine with it. You then also got in the news this week, Liv Morgan and Dominik Mysterio have been largely unused since WrestleMania, and it is reportedly source of eternal frustration in the company. Mysterio and Morgan both competed at WrestleMania 42 as Morgan won the Women's World Championship from Stephanie Vicaire, and Mysterio lost to Finn Balor in a street fight. However, the two have not been used frequently since that time. WrestleVotes Radio on Fightful Select reports that their lack of direction has caused some within the company to be frustrated. According to the report, the original plans for Liv Morgan had her continuing her feud with Vicaire. However, Vicaire is out of action due to injury, and there has not been much adjustment to keep Morgan as a main part of the programming. On the other hand, the site reports that there had been an effort to keep Mysterio as an on-air character, even if he doesn't have matches. It is noted that Mysterio is expected to be used more as WWE moves towards promoting Triple Mania 34, which takes place in September. Meanwhile, Liv is expected to be more active on Raw regardless of Vicaire's recovery status. Morgan hasn't wrestled since she faced Sol Ruca on the Raw after WrestleMania in a non-title matchup. However, she is scheduled to be part of the Queen of the Ring tournament with her first round matchup coming up on Monday. Mysterio's last televised matchup before last night was the AAA Mega Championship defense against original Grande Americano on the May 11th episode of Raw, which was his first match since WrestleMania. Speaking of Judgment Day, former Judgment Day member Rhea Ripley may be dealing with another injury following appearances on the WWE's ongoing European Summer Tour. According to multiple sources about the recent live event in Madrid, Spain, reports emerged that Ripley appeared to be wearing protection on her right knee during the house show. Per Contrada Lona, observers also reported that she seemed to have difficulty getting down from the ring, fueling speculation about a possible knee issue. Contrala Lona said, according to reports from hashtag WWE Madrid, at Rhea Ripley _WWE has appeared with protection on her right knee and has been having difficulty getting down from the ring. Let's hope it's nothing for the champion of WWE. The reported injury concern comes just days after she successfully defended her women's championship against Jade Cargill at Clash in Italy. She subsequently appeared at 2 live events this week before the situation in Madrid drew attention from fans and wrestling media. During the Madrid show, Charlotte Flair was attacked by members of Fatal Influence. Ripley and WWE Women's United States Champion Tiffany Stratton were shown coming to Flair's aid. However, Ripley did not get into any physical action. Instead, she was used as a distraction as Flair and Stratton fought off the group. As of Thursday night, WWE has not publicly confirmed Ripley's injury, and the company has not also said nothing really about just her being banged up during Friday Night SmackDown this week. If the reports prove accurate, the situation would mark the latest setback in a series of injuries Ripley has dealt with in recent years. She previously suffered a broken nose last November. In 2024, she was also sidelined with the AC joint shoulder sprain and a fractured orbital socket, and suffered a cut when her dog accidentally bit her before WrestleMania 42. So hopefully Rhea's going to be all right, but she was limping on SmackDown last night. So hopefully it's nothing serious, because that would be really bad, because she's been probably the best in-ring worker for WWE's women's division this year. So we'll see. Speaking of more Judgment Day and ex-Judgment Day members, Finn Balor had a move to Friday Night SmackDown this week. A new report had some more details on the reason for the brand move. It was announced on Monday Night Raw that Finn Balor went to the Blue brand. Byron Saxton made the announcement during an ad break promo from JD McDonough and Dominik Mysterio. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, the move was done specifically to get him away from the Judgment Day on the same brand. Balor's feud with the group is now finished, and the feeling on WWE Creative was that it didn't make sense to have them on the same brand and not end up fighting them. Finn Balor defeated Dominik Mysterio at WrestleMania 42 and then defeated JD McDonough in a street fight on the May 18th WWE Raw. The new SmackDown star is set to compete in the first round of the King of the Ring tournament. He will face Royce Keys, LA Knight, and Jey Uso on next week's program. So we'll see how Finn Balor progresses on SmackDown. Krssi got turned on there, ladies and gentlemen. Then,
you put that picture right in front of me. I'm sorry. It's
I saw the question. I saw the question in the chat, so we're going to answer it here. Bayley, yes, is in the news. According to WrestleVotes Radio on Fightful Select, Bayley's WWE contract is entering its final months and is set to expire at the end of 2026. At that point, Bayley will be a free agent. The report indicates that no agreement has been reached on a new contract and that neither side has publicly discussed the contract situation. Bayley will have options as a pro wrestling free agent. Tony Khan and AEW would jump at the opportunity to sign one of the most famous women's wrestlers of all time. There is a precedent too, as Sasha Banks, now known as Mercedes Moné, left WWE and ended up a free agent. She worked for a variety of independent companies and major promotions, including New Japan Pro Wrestling and Stardom. Eventually, she signed with AEW in 2024. It is noted in the report that WWE does have interest to retain Bayley to a new contract. Bayley could follow in the footsteps of Mercedes Moné in AEW. Another Bayley versus Moné matchup would be a major draw for women's wrestling. Bayley against the likes of Tekla, Timeless Toni Storm, Chris Statlander, and others, current members of the women's division, would also be strong matches for the company to have as well. But in another 0 to 100, what are we putting on? Bayley actually leaving WWE and heading elsewhere. I'm going to put it at a very low 10%. Krssi.
I've called this a few months ago. She likes being in this toxic relationship. She's not going anywhere.
Hey,
0.
You gotta understand, guys. She has ties to the community. She's a part of the community watch. They need her to bake the cookies for the street fair, and her kids are in after school programs. They're a part of the basketball team and all this stuff. Like, she has reasons to stay in this toxic marriage.
Sure.
Josh, what do you think? 0 to 100.
1%.
Also fair. Dion Jenkins saying the only problem I have with AEW is the fans that jump all over you, even if you have the slightest criticism. Trust me, I've been dealing with that, but that's from both sides. I get that from both sides of the spectrum, honestly.
Was this based off the question he asked about who's worse? I saw somebody ask.
I think Kevin asked that in the chat. I think they're both horrible. I think wrestling fans in general can be horrible. Y'all guys are great. Our community is great, but in general, wrestling fans are very irrational when it comes to criticism.
In general, wrestling fans are bad. There are good wrestling fans, but if you're talking about like based off of tribalism and all this stuff, to me, at least the worst interactions I've gotten into it is usually pro WWE fans, because when you go out of your way wanting a company to die and want them to go out of business, to me that's a deal breaker for me. Because regardless of all the criticisms we have with WWE, I don't want WWE to go out of business. I don't want WWE to not exist anymore, because we do need WWE. So wrestling does need WWE for better or worse. But when you go out of your way to say, I want AEW to die, they need to die already, it's kind of just like, all right, you're just fucking weird at this point. You're not even being the fan. It's just weird bullshit. And then obviously you have those AEW fans where they're gatekeeping everything. I've gotten into it with those kind of fans myself, just because like if you say something positive about a WWE match, they get all over you, and it's just like, bro, like you gotta have good wrestling all around. He doesn't mean that I like this one more, all right? But there's a good match. I'm gonna say there's a good match, right?
Yeah.
It's like it happened to me when I defended the Punk and Braun match. I was like, yeah, it was sloppy at first, but it ended up being a good match. And people were just like, oh, but it wasn't. I was like, that's not what I said. I said it was a good match. Like, fuck you mean? Like, yo, some people, I don't know. It's just too much sometimes.
And then final piece of WWE news before we get to the C-level shows, WWE announced a tour of Mexico that has been timed to compete with CMLL's 92nd anniversary show. According to a new report, as noted, it was announced on Saturday that WWE is running a tour in Mexico in September, including the first episodes of WWE Raw and SmackDown taking place in the country in 15 years. The tour runs from September 9th through the 14th and is happening around Triple Mania 34, which takes place over 2 nights on September 11th in Las Vegas and September 13th in Mexico City. Dave Meltzer noted that on the Wrestling Observer Radio that the timing of the tour was done to compete with CMLL, which is holding its 93rd anniversary show on September 18th. CMLL has been on a hot streak in recent months with sellout shows, and Meltzer suggests that WWE is trying to screw with the anniversary show in a big way. He said that CMLL show will still sell out and that both nights Triple Mania and WWE Raw will likely sell out as well. So we'll keep you in tune, and any updates. It seems like the wrestling war is spilling over to Mexico now with CMLL and AAA. But speaking of AAA, that brings us to the C-level shows, and we got to talk about last Saturday. Last Saturday, you had the CMLL Noches de los Grandes show, which took place from Monterrey, Mexico, and it had one of the best matches of the year, but as well as plenty of other really good wrestling throughout the show. The show featured Rey Fénix winning the AAA World Cruiserweight Championship over Laredo Kid in a banger of an opener to open up the show, as Rey Fénix wins the Cruiserweight Championship for another time in his career. You had El Hijo del Vikingo picked up a win over El Dr. Wagner Jr. to capture the AAA Latin American Championship. The War Raiders became new champions as they scored a victory over Psycho Clown and Pagano.
Look at Omos. Yeah.
They scored a win over Psycho Clown and Pagano to win the AAA World Tag Team Championships. Post-match, Psycho Clown and Pagano got into it before the War Raiders jumped Psycho Clown and Pagano left him behind. And then finally, El Grande Americano defeated the original El Grande Americano in an absolutely incredible mass versus mass main event that featured Los Americanos, the Creed brothers, Pimpinello, Andrea making cameos. You had an emotional post-match as well as the original El Grande Americano cut a passionate speech saying that he couldn't not defeat the Mexican spirit, and that that he will always be the original El Grande Americano, but now the other El Grande is now the only El Grande Americano. The OG El Grande unmasked to reveal it was Chad Gable all along. What? Holy shit. As he continued his emotional speech as blood was pouring from his head with his family standing beside him. Then El Grande celebrated his victory with Pimpinella, the Los Americanos, and of course the beautiful Andrea, with them kissing and dancing to ay, 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 ay. And what a crowd. This is one of the best wrestling crowds that I've seen in a long time, and this is a certified instant classic in my book. One of the greatest WWE match presentations of all time. One of the greatest matches in AAA history as well. Krssi Luv, were you able to see mass versus mass?
I did get to see it. So the lady that he was kissing on, he broke up with Tiffany Stratton and he got with her?
Yes.
Nice little come up for him, friend.
Nice little upgrade. I won't front.
Nice little upgrade. I ain't even. I'm talking about the wrong shit.
I'm not mad at you.
I'm not mad at the upgrade that you did, sir. But just going back to when they first did this whole Grande Americano gimmick, you know. And now look at where it's gone. Like something I think that was probably supposed to be like just for shits and giggles. Now has this like transcended to this like whole big thing and is like going big in Mexico. Like they fucking love it.
Yeah, they go crazy for it.
They go crazy for it. Like this whole
shit.
story and like the match. But we knew these two can wrestle. They just haven't been able to wrestle like this in a long time. And I'm happy they had the stage to do this type of match. Even though, you know, Chad Gable was trying to cut it. It was a lot, but you know, he got through it, but it was really good.
Yeah, I loved it. Josh, any thoughts on Mass versus Mass?
I mean, it was a great match. You know, everything from start to finish, how everything was built up, even the run-ins, right? Usually with Triple A, you know, with Triple A, a lot of people who don't really watch it, even before the sale, they were infamous for run-ins. So this kind of just fit the mold for a Triple A match, but it actually worked out. Like it wasn't like something that was forced. Like it was well placed. So, you know, usually when they do run-ins, when it's good, I don't mind it. Like if it tells the story within the match, I'm all for it. And I think that's what this match did because of the desperation, right? You're trying to win and you're not trying to be exposed of whoever this person is, right? And then when it finally happened, you know, I thought even the way that Chad, like, you know, when he removed it and he revealed it was revealed that it was Chad Gable. I thought they did that very well. You know, they brought his family into the ring and then he took off his mask and basically like reintroduced himself. You know, he was bloodied the fuck up too. Like, man, man, those guys like really went at it. It was an incredible match. And one thing I will not do that others were doing, I'm not going to bring up any other match. I'm not going to bring up any individual to try to bring them down to put this match over. This match was great, and I think that the fellas who were in the match for the nice build-up, for everything, they deserve a lot of credit. And I felt like there was people who were taken away from that, and I think that's fucked up when people do that. If WWE produced a great match, you should take it as a W. Take it as a win. Don't try to bring somebody else down to try to fit your narrative, whatever narrative you're trying to pull off. Because again, at the end of the day, we just like good wrestling, and this was a great wrestling match. It was nicely produced, and again, these fellas should get credit for producing this. They had one of the best buildups going on in the entire company, main roster, you know, development, whatever you want to call it. This was their best storyline this year so far. You know, and I think we should acknowledge that. We should, you know, we should give their flowers, you know, deservedly, because that was an incredible match. Yeah. And Dave, he rated it 5.75. I stand by it because it was a great match. It was a great build-up. It was great. It was emotional.
The ending, everything.
You saw how those people reacted. You know, that's wrestling 101, what they did. And I think that they should get all the credit that they deserve.
And the better star ratings, being mine, I gave it 5+ stars because there shouldn't be 0.75. You should just put plus. Like
it's not a 5. It's like, man, might as well give it 6. Like, just give it.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to say if you're gonna go that close to 6, just give it 6. 5+ stars. That's why I have 5+ stars, and then the rare greatest matches of all time get the 6. Only like 4 matches ever got 6 stars from me. So that's how it should work. Anyway, that's besides the point. And then you had NXT this week. WWE NXT, the show got 556,000 viewers. Show featured Zarya beating Lizzie Rain in a solid opener to the show. Post-match, you had Zarya attack Lizzie until Tatum Paxley made the save and issued a challenge for her to go after the NXT Women's North American Championship next week. Saquon Sugars attacked Cutler James of Dark State during their entrance for their matchup, which led to later in the show, Dion Lennox and Osiris Griffin of Dark State defeated Tavion Heights and NXT North American champion Miles Bourne in tag team action. OTM in tag team action scored a victory over the Culling, while Jackson Drake pulled off a win over Tate Wilder in singles competition. Lexis King retained the WWE Speed Championship over Romeo Moreno. Lola Vice came out to address all her challengers for the NXT Women's Championship. This led to Kalani Jordan coming out to issue a challenge for the title until Kendall Gray came out to confront her. Vice suggested that Jordan faces Gray in a number one contenders match next week, with the winner facing Lola for the title at Great American Bash. Kalani took the title from Lola, who swung with her spinning back fist, but hit Gray instead of Jordan, knocking her down and sending a message. And then Tony D'Angelo beat Cam Hendricks in the main event to retain the NXT championship. Post-match, Tony D was confronted by Naraku and Mason Rook, who will have a number one contenders match next week, with the winner facing Tony D at the Great American Bash. Yeah, WWE Evolve on Tubi on Wednesday. The show featured Wendy Chu. She retained the Evolve Women's Championship over Sloane Jacobs in the main event. Post-match, it was main official. Chu will defend her title against Nikita Lyons at Secession 3 in 2 weeks. Gianna Capri picked up a win over Mason Holiday. Harley Riggins overcame Romeo Moreno, who took a bunch of losses this week, apparently. Elijah Holyfield made his debut in a win over Kai Kavari. Max Abrams beat Cappuccino Jones in a decent bout, thanks to outside interference from CJ Valor of the Mog Squad. And then finally, you had TNA Impact. The show featured, you had The Righteous defeated the Broken Hardys in a bloody and brutal Wicked Garden matchup, which is basically like a barbed wire garden themed matchup, which had this bloody scene with Jeff Hardy caught up in the barbed wire looking like a gunshot victim. Post-match, you had Matt and Jeff Hardy disappeared after the lights cut off. Yet Eric Young came out to address Mike Santana until the TNA World Champion came out to confront him. This led to a title match being set up for next week. However, Young got a low blow and a power driver to leave Santana laying. Eddie Edwards scored a victory over BDE in the opener. Post-match, the System came out and attacked BDE until Fabian Eichner and Leon Slater made the save. Mr. Elegance overcame the TNA Knockouts World Champion Lei Yin Lee in an intergender matchup, thanks to a distraction from Zaya Brookside. Post-match, Brookside announced she will challenge Lee for the title at Slammiversary. AJ Francis busted open Elijah after stealing his guitar riff for a new single and revealed that his music manager signed over the rights to his music and all of his names, Elijah, Elias, and Ezekiel. That was funny.
What?
Yes. Santina Morella and Indy Hartwell beat Channing Stacks Lorenzo and Ariana Grace in a mixed tag team matchup as well. And then we have a report from the world of TNA, as TNA has announced that they are that one of their top stars' contract is about to expire. A new report has an update on WWE's interest in Mike Santana, as the TNA World Champion's contract is set to expire. WrestleVotes Radio on Fightful Select has confirmed that his contract will expire in July, and they have confirmed that WWE has interest in him, and a source noted there is a strong internal support from at least one member of the WWE main roster. The report goes on to note that they should WWE bring him on board, they would like him to be on the main roster by the end of the year. That said, there is no potential brand set for him should he end up signing. It was noted that both Santana's work as a performer and his professionalism are highly regarded by the company, and Mike Santana has been part of TNA since re-signing in 2024. His current run has him as a two-time TNA World Champion. His current run has gone for 140 days, having defeated Frankie Kazarian on the premiere of TNA Impact on AMC in January. What do you think about Mike Santana potentially coming to WWE? That would be so bad for TNA. That'd be like the biggest star possible for them lose.
Right. I'm about to say bad is an understatement, SP. Like that's a disservice to that whole but WWE doesn't care about them, guys. Like why are we acting like this is something? they're the bad guys.
Oh no, I'm not acting like nothing. I already know. That's good. No, fuck TNA. He goes to TNA. Fuck them.
Okay.
I'm just saying. Fuck TNA. Like, you know, this guy, you want to keep this guy, keep him. You gonna let him walk? You gonna let this man walk? Come on. Like, what are we doing here? I'm just saying, right? It's like you want to keep him, right? Do your best to keep him. But if he goes to WWE, it's like, oh well, like he's gonna go to WWE and make more money, like, right?
Oh man,
I have no comment.
Josh hates TNA. Josh hates TNA. Goddamn.
I'm just saying, man.
I don't think he hates TNA. He's just giving it like
I think he hates
truth.
TNA. I think he hates TNA.
He's given the raw, honest truth of like how a lot of people feel, and they just don't.
No,
say
because
it.
you know what happened, man. Ever since that thing that happened with TNA, you know, they made me an enemy. So it was like, you know what? I'm a put my foot on their neck every single time I get.
Any chance he gets,
Fuck
he
them.
puts his foot on it.
I hope his foot,
too. His elbow, his knee, his forehead. He puts everything on there.
Man, I hope they're watching this. The same way they watch the Bump 15, I hope they're watching this too. Hell no. Hell no. I mean, I'm gonna watch that. Yeah, I'm gonna watch the Jarrett stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna watch that.
Oh man, that was funny. All right. More TNA news. And another person who's leaving the company. Fightful Select has reported that TNA Wrestling's Myla Grace has requested and received her release from the promotion. According to the report, she requested her release this week and it was granted in the last few days. Based on the report, it appears there's no hard feelings over Grace wanting her release. It said that there was no heat between TNA and Grace over the issue. TNA announced Grace's signing in May of 2025, and she had been a part of the tag team with Harley Hudson during her tenure with the promotion. Myla Grace has previously competed in Marigold and Over the Top Wrestling in Ireland. She last wrestled for TNA on April 9th edition of TNA Impact that was taped on March 28th, where she lost to Elena Black. This is like the third women's wrestler who's asked for their release and received it from TNA. Danny Luna, Steph DeLander, and now Myla Grace. It says a lot about their knockouts division. Everybody's trying to get the fuck up out of there.
Man. You see, this just proved my point.
You might be onto something, Josh, then. I don't know. Maybe we need to clip this and just like put it as one of our shorts. But Josh may be on to something. I mean,
I'm just saying. Josh is not Josh knows what he's
don't
talking about.
Josh don't just say nothing just to say it. You know what I'm saying? Like Josh
Exactly.
be like,
Exactly. I think Josh is on to something. All right, guys, but that is all from the world of WWE this week. Krssi Luv, you know what time it is.
TikTok time, friends.
It is TikTok time. And yes, we got some TikTok time this week where we are going to be talking more about basically luchadors and lucha libre, because we, of course, had the mask versus mask matchup with El Grande Americano versus the original El Grande Americano. So now we're going to be doing a luchadors King of the Hill. Who is the king of the hill of all luchadors? This is all-time Mexican talent that we're going to be going through here. So, are you guys ready?
Ready.
Yes.
Krssi Luv's like, I guess. All right, we'll start with Josh here. So, all-time, we're going to start with El Grande Americano. El Grande Americano versus Rey Fénix.
You see,
Which American got a Grande Americano?
There's one and only one El Grande Americano now.
Okay, Luvica.
Oh, I mean, El Grande. Oh, fuck Rey Fénix.
Well,
Krssi.
Yeah, I'm gonna go El Grande.
I mean, if we're just going by who's more popular in Mexico, if we were going by who's actually Mexican and actually a luchador, I would go with Phoenix. But if we're going by right now, who's more popular in Mexico? I'll go with El Grande. I just want to cause havoc and just say El Grande. El Grande Americano versus Mil Mascaras. Who you got, Josh?
Oh, Mil Mascaras.
Yeah, I'm going with Mil Mascaras. Krssi?
100%.
Okay, well, I wouldn't have lost anyway. I don't even know who the hell it is, but okay.
It's one of the greatest luchadors of all time.
Yeah, that's why I was like, yeah, I mean, I can't argue that. It's
I believe you.
Even if I had a feud against that man, I'm like, nah, he got it.
Mil Mascaras versus La Parka, Josh.
Oh, Mil Mascaras. La Parka, I mean, he's more like, I just know him for shits and giggles. He's not bad. It's just, I just remember for the funny
He
stuff.
ain't good either.
Yeah, do the dance. I'm going with Mil Mascaras. Who you got, Krssi?
Mascaras.
All right, Mil Mascaras versus Ultimo Guerrero.
Who
you got, Josh?
You see, this one is good. I got to stick with Mascaras.
I'm gonna stick with Mil Mascaras as well. Who you got, Krssi?
I was gonna say the other one, but I don't matter anyway. I lost.
All right, we'll start with you then this time. Mil Mascaras versus Ultimo Dragon.
Oh,
Ultimo Dragon.
Josh.
This one is tough because I freaking love Ultimo Dragon. Fuck it, I'll pick Ultimo Dragon.
I don't matter. I would have said Mil Mascaras, but yeah, I guess we're going Ultimo Dragon.
I remember the picture. Remember, he was the man that had like what? How many belts? 11, 12?
Nine titles. 9 titles at once.
Like,
Yeah.
that's an iconic photo that people still use to this day.
It is. Ultimo Dragon versus Juventud Guerrera. Josh.
Ultimate Dragon.
Krssi.
I'm about to say what you got, SP?
I'm gonna go with Ultimo Dragon.
Ultimo Dragon.
Ultimo Dragon versus Psychosis. Krssi.
Damn, I like Psychosis too. That's the thing.
Psychosis.
Josh.
I think Ultimo Dragon.
I'll stick with Ultimo Dragon as well. Ultimo Dragon versus El Santo. I'm going with El Santo.
El Santo.
Josh. Krssi. So Krssi, El Santo is literally the most famous luchador of all time. He was in movies.
I was the
first wrestler to do movies.
I was gonna say he sounds really important, and you guys like didn't even bat an eye when the name came out.
It's like once it got
do
there,
anything, so I was going to pick Santos myself. So yeah.
All right. Now we're gonna make it tough with these final two. El Santo versus
Hulk Hogan. Wow.
Yeah, he is. That's a great comparison. El Santo versus Eddie Guerrero.
Eddie Guerrero. Wow. I'm sorry.
I'm going El Santo. Krssi.
I guess Santos. I don't know.
Thank you, Krssi, because this is the matchup I really wanted to do. El Santo versus Rey Mysterio. Krssi.
Rey Mysterio.
Josh.
Rey Mysterio.
I would have said El Santo, but y'all won out. Y'all won over me. It's going to Rey Mysterio as our King of the Hill. See, the chat is pretty split. We see multiple Rey Mysterio, multiple El Santo. Let us know in the comments.
Have them go vote, and that'll be the winner.
All right, I'll put
because like El Santo, like so I don't know if anybody, if you watch like Nacho Libre, like the main, like the character he faces is basically based off of El Santo, because he was like the biggest luchador. So like when he faces like his last opponent, like in that movie, that's basically is based off of El Santo.
Yeah. All right. So great, best luchador ever, El Santo, Rey, Mysterio.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys decide. You guys decide in the chat what y'all want us to do. Oh, I didn't even. It's telling me that I have to. Oh, because we didn't reveal last week. Yeah, that was my mistake. We didn't reveal last week who won our fantasy draft of AEW matches. So we got to show that first, because Krssi Luv won last week, so we could stop.
I did? How?
Yeah, you did. You
I
won.
was losing.
You won. You won the poll. You won the poll last week. So gotta
Thanks,
conclude that.
guys.
And then
I appreciate this. I did not know I was gonna win. Thanks to shout out to all the people. Great.
And then we show the poll for this week is who is the greatest luchador. So you just type 1 or 2 in the chat. If you think El Santo is the greatest, you put 1. If you think Rey Mysterio is the greatest, you put 2. Do that as we progress. Hopefully, I remember by the end of the show to close that poll so we could see who is the greatest luchador of all time. So just put the one single number, 1 or 2, for El Santo versus Rey Mysterio. But we can go very quickly through AEW before we sign off Miss Krssi Luv. AEW now. We got AEW Collision and Dynamite from this past week. You had last Saturday AEW Collision, which took place from Huntsville, Alabama. The show did 360,000 viewers. The show featured Konosuke Takeshita defeating Daniel Garcia in an excellent main event to the show to retain the AEW International Championship. Post-match, Don Callis Family jumped Takeshita, while Shane Taylor Promotions jumped Jon Moxley at commentary and Garcia at ringside. This led to the Death Riders, Speedball Mike Bailey, and the Conglomeration coming out to make the save in a chaotic ending to the show. You also had the Conglomerations, Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, and Kyle O'Reilly picked up a win over the Don Callis Families, Lance Archer, and RPG Vice in a decent opener to retain the AEW World Trios titles. TJ survived the AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship 5-minute eliminator against Divine Dominion. You had Tommaso Ciampa addressed his attack on Jericho from Dynamite, where he had a list of 1,004 reasons why he hates Jericho, sending a message to the legend with his own gimmick. You had Jon Moxley and Pac of the Death Riders overcame the Infantry in a solid tag team matchup. You also had Hazuki making her AEW debut, defeated Maya World in a very good match to preview her meeting with Persephone in the Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament. The Dogs scored a victory over the Guns in another decent bout. Post-match, the Dogs attacked Colton Gunn and Austin Gunn until the Bang Bang Gang made the save. And then there was AEW Dynamite this week. This was a loaded episode of Dynamite this week. They did 638,000 viewers. That's slightly down from last week, which did a huge number, 704,000, coming off the heels of Double or Nothing. But this week, MJF defeated Roosh in a great no countouts matchup to retain the AEW World Championship. Post-match, you had MJF attempt to blast Roosh with the title until Mark Briscoe tried to make the save until MJF gave him a low blow. He then went to hit Mark Briscoe with the title belt until the conglomeration made the save. This led to Briscoe scoring a victory over Blackheart Leo Rush, and then he cut a spirited and impassioned promo talking about losing his brother, finding the conglomeration, and finding hatred inside of him thanks to his rivalry with MJF before challenging him for the AEW World Title. In the biggest moment of the night, Mercedes Moné made her return as the wild card in the Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament. This led to Moné picking up a win over Alex Windsor in a very good match to advance in the Owen Hart Cup. And now she goes on to the semifinals and face the winner of Hazuki and Persephone on tonight's Collision. Tekla came out with the Triangle of Madness to declare death to Stardom ahead of the dumb bitches ahead of the Forbidden Door pay-per-view before spitting on the Stardom logo on the video wall. Don Callis revealed the Jet, Kevin Knight, as the newest member of the Don Callis family.
Terrible.
This led to Knight. Yes, horrible. This led to Knight scoring a victory over a Speedball Mike Bailey in an absolute banger to retain the TNT Championship. Horrible move, though. Can't deny that. Then finally, you had the main event, which saw Will Ospreay defeated Mark Davis in an absolutely tremendous main event encounter to advance in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. This one was absolutely splendid. It was just crazy, nonstop action throughout as Ospreay was able to survive interference from the Don Callis family because he had some backup in the form of the Death Riders with Wheeler Yuta and Daniel Garcia taking off the first attack from the Don Callis family. Then you had Claudio Castagnoli and Pac fighting off Archer and Brian Cage. You had Jake Doyle coming out and trying to interfere. Marina Shafir and John Moxley fought them off. Then Kyle Fletcher came out with the screwdriver to attack his former friend until Konosuke Takeshita, another former friend of Fletcher, fought him off before Ospreay was before Ospreay was finally able to finish off Mark Davis with the Death Ground and pick up the victory to move on to the finals of the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. He will now face the winner of Swerve Strickland versus Brody King in the other semifinal at Forbidden Door. Krssi Luv, what did you think about Dynamite this week?
We're doing a disservice to Kevin Knight. I'm sorry. Him turning heel was great. Why didn't we just let him be by himself? Let him figure it out. We don't need to put the 150 member into the family. Why do we it's certain people in the family that don't even get TV time. He's gonna get lost in the shuffle, and he has a belt. Between Kyle Fletcher, I don't know what they were thinking with this idea. They could have just let him be by himself and just cause havoc. Let him figure it out. He's a star for a reason. That's my gripe for this show. We're doing a disservice to Kevin Knight, and I now think that he's now his stock is now going to go down tremendously. And I don't want that to happen, but I think he's going to get lost in the shuffle. Great to see Monet back. Called it. She looks great. Feel bad about Windsor losing though. Don't know, it's kind of on the fence, but whatever. Could have had both him and his lady win the Owen Hart Cup together, but what do I know? Mark Briscoe, when you can't, no one can ever say they can't love this guy. Mark Briscoe is amazing, and for him to give that passionate, truthful promo was just I felt it was really, really good. And then yes, Ciampa was amazing as well with the list and that's on the other show. I'm sorry, but nevertheless, Ciampa coming out with the list, I was like, this is so fucking funny. Now this is why I love wrestling. Shit like this. I'm gonna antagonize you. I'm gonna be a jerk and an asshole. And I'm going to tell you why I hate you. And I'm loving that Ciampa is thriving and just like haven't batted an eye since he got there. Like he's just been awesome.
Yeah.
Tekla was great too. Yeah, sorry. Tekla was awesome too. Sorry.
I agree with it with Kevin Knight. It does nothing for him. It does nothing for the Don Callis family. You didn't even give him a chance to see if he can stand on his own. Like you didn't give him a chance, and you had other better options if you wanted to place him with somebody. He already had the story with Swerve.
Yep.
You have the Hurt Syndicate that's really doing nothing. You can give them a role on TV. No, they don't. I don't think that would be a good move, a positive move either. But I would have gave him a chance on his own, and then I would have exhausted all the other excuses to put him on TV before I put him with the Don Callis family, where at best he's the third or fourth most important person in the group. And for anyone who wants to say, "Oh no, it's actually a good move," the Don Callis family gets cut. Nah, you're not keeping the same energy. We keep the same energy here. We keep the same. If Triple H and WWE's being lazy and we call it out, we gonna call out Tony Khan and AEW booking because it's a lazy, uninspired decision. That's unnecessary at this point in Kevin Knight's run. And I'll pull back the curtain because we're nearly 3 hours into the show, so I only know the real ones are watching at this point. Kevin Knight doesn't like this decision either. I have this on good authority. So.
Okay. So at least we're not crazy because it even looked.
Yeah, no, we're not crazy. I was told in confidence that Kevin Knight is not enthused with this decision either.
And I'm sure he wanted to probably like do his own thing. Like, okay, yes, he started on his own. He got in a tag team with Speedball, which was cool. It was great. But let him be the bad guy that he probably wants to be and let him flourish. I hope that they we can't renege like it's spades, but like. Just take that book back and book it a different way. We'll win the book the next round. You know what I'm saying? Like we'll figure it out, guys. But this is not a good service, and this is very lazy. I'm happy you said we're going to call out all of them for foolishness, for lazy booking and terrible booking, and this is a bad booking. I hope Tony Khan is watching this.
I would have took him joining up with Stokely. If you don't have confidence in him as a promo, put him with Stokely. Stokely's a better option than Callis at this point in the Callis family. I'm saying that as someone who's always in support of the Don Callis family. I love the Don Callis family and love their function in AEW. It just was not the right person and not the right time to do it to me. But I'm very happy Mercedes Moné is back, and I'm very happy that Tony Khan saw my threats and put a live mic in Tekla's hand. Thank you, Tony Khan.
Yes, he did. I was like, he must have listened. He had to be listening to. I was like, oh, because look, she came out and she did it awesome. Like she was all just rambling and going all over the damn place, but it was awesome. Yeah. And then she get more heat by spitting on the daggone Stardom logo. Fucking great. Keep letting her just do her own thing. Just let her just do it.
Yeah. Josh, what did you think about AEW this week?
I thought it was a good episode. I do agree with the Kevin Knight stuff. I don't like the move because it just feels like a Band-Aid. It feels like they had him go out there the previous week. They had him go out there the previous week. They had him cut a promo. Promo got mixed reaction, and they're like, "Oh, maybe we should pair you with somebody to get better heat." That's how that comes off.
Even though he got good heat last week, it didn't make.
No, he did. That's what I'm saying. Like he did, and I don't get the move. I don't understand the move. I would have just let him be and just let him figure it out. If he flops, he would have flopped on his own. Mm-hmm. I just thought you should have just let it. You should have just left it alone. Just to add, I don't know. I don't like the move. Because it feels like a Band-Aid that doesn't need to be a Band-Aid. You know what I mean? Like, so I mean, we'll see where it goes from here. But maybe this is a situation where they pivot. Maybe because we've seen sometimes they do pivot. I hope this is a situation they do that because this doesn't need to be a thing. I would even prefer like like they act like it didn't happen. You know what I mean? Like if they just go next week and like, oh, he's not part of the family. Oh, what just happened? I probably prefer that for them for that to like just not even be a thing, to be honest. But besides that, I mean, you know, MJF and Roos was a great match.
Mhm.
It was freaking hilarious. He had the freaking Matador outfit to Roos.
He's such a jerk. Like that's what you get. Then
Yo, that was great.
He's such a jerk, but it's so good that it comes off great. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
you know, like the match. You know, the match itself was great. You know, them building up Mark as like the contender for like maybe I don't know, maybe Forbidden Door or even the following pay-per-view Redemption. There's some good stuff with that, you know. And then Mark cut that promo. That was probably like, I don't know, man. That promo like really kind of like it was like, damn, like he really knows how to hit the feels.
Yes.
You know, because that felt like it didn't even feel like a promo. It felt like he was not only from the heart, but like it was like because we all know like the real emotion of losing his brother. I think we all felt it, but obviously he feels it the most. That's his brother. So for him to like, you know, cut that promo and then talk about like how he found the group that, you know, it feels like family again. I thought it was a good touch, you know, like he did a great job selling me on like, all right, he's definitely gonna be one of MJF's opponents going forward for one of their big pay-per-views. You know, and I'm all for it. He's not gonna win, but I'm all for like a good matchup. I'm all for that because, you know, you need to find something anyway for the build for All In anyway. So I don't mind that. And then we had that main event. I mean, Will Ospreay. I mean, damn, like
that was fantastic. Fantastic main event.
Right. It was a great
I saw Sanjo saying that Dave Meltzer gave it 5.75. No, he didn't. He made a mistake.
He made
it 4 3/4, which is the more accurate rating for the matchup. I just thought it was funny when he did that.
Yeah, it was. I think he was too high on the. I mean, he was writing off the high of the mask versus mask. So he was like, he probably did copy and paste. But I mean, it was a good episode. Besides the Kevin Knight stuff, you know, we got Mercedes back. The crowd got into it. She got a new theme song. You know, like, you know, she looked good too. She didn't look like she lost a step. You know, Mercedes is a professional, so I mean, they had good stuff. I just thought the Kevin Knight stuff did drag it down because it was like, dang, bro, like, don't need to do that. You know, just like
I probably if it doesn't have the Kevin Knight stuff, I'm probably giving this episode like a 9 out of 10 because it was that good and it had great wrestling throughout the show.
Like, you know, like could have just let that man cook. Like, and again, even if it failed, at least you're giving him the opportunity for that to happen. And I'm not saying like, oh yeah, he was gonna fail, but at least you kind of know, like, all right, he can't really stand on his own, and then you figure it out from there. Now, 1 week he cuts a promo and you don't like the promo, and then all of a sudden, oh wait, let's pair him up with Don Callis. It's like I just don't like that solution. I just don't like the fact that you just did that because it feels like you just put a giant band-aid for something that you didn't need to do. Like you didn't have to
a giant band-aid and there's no cut.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh wait, you got like a little bump. All right, let's cover that up. Like, what do you mean? You don't need to do that. Like, you know, but I think that was the downside of the episode. But again, everything else I thought was great. Like Tekla was great. She's always great. But I like the aspect of her doing the stardom stuff because that is a thing. And the fact that she is mentioning now, like, yeah, I was fired. Before it was like she denied it, but now she's like embracing it. Like, yeah, I was fired. Oh, well, like I'm here now. You know, I like that.
I'm not going to allow you in my company. I love Tekla is so cool. Tekla has a cool persona.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, so I personally do like that direction that they're going when it comes to like kind of like a versus thing. I think they should probably do that for Forbidden Door. I think that would make some things different. So I do like that aspect. I hope they kind of follow suit with a card like that. But overall, I thought it was a solid episode.
Yeah, I thought it was a very good episode. Yeah. I think I gave it like an 8 out of 10. I'd probably go as high as like 8.5, but I can't give it the extra 0.5 to go 9 out of 10 because why are we putting Kevin Knight in a situation he doesn't need to be in? Correct. But Krssi Luv, we know you got to run, sis, so let the people know where they can follow you on social media and when they shall see you again.
Krssi Luv _1, Tru Heel Krssi Luv, and just my plain old name. Watch myself and SP. We break down the final episode of Euphoria. So go, if you have a chance, can you go watch that? And SP and I break that down. Other than that, you will see me on the next flagship show. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, as always, Miss Krssi Luv. We will see you next Saturday on the flagship podcast. Until then, we'll see you later.
Later, peeps.
Bye. But we got to talk more about AEW Dynamite this week, and specifically the return of Mercedes Moné. Of course, Mercedes Moné appeared on Dynamite this week for the first time since January. There had been reports heading into Dynamite from Fightful Select that she was having a return relatively soon, but she was revealed as the wild card in the Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament, picking up a win over Alex Windsor. She will now face the winner of Hazuki versus Persephone in the semifinals of the tournament, and could potentially face either Athena, Sky Blue, or Saray. Sky Blue and Saray will face on next week's Summer Blockbuster in a quarterfinal matchup. So it should be interesting to see if Mercedes can get by the semifinals and head to the finals at Forbidden Door in her second straight Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament final. But the real big question now is, will Mercedes Moné win the Owen Hart Cup? Will her return lead to increased focus from the AEW creative team on the women's division, which has really struggled for a consistent time on television, as well as focus from the creative side of AEW in regards to stories being told? And can she turn around the year overall for the women's scene now that she is back and inserted into the women's Owen Hart Cup? Josh, what do you think? Do you think Mercedes is winning the Owen Hart Cup, and can she turn around the year for the AEW women's division?
Do I think she's winning? Yeah. Because that's your biggest name. And could she turn things around? I think she could. I think she has the star power that you could. It's just a matter of if that's gonna happen. You know, I don't think it's no discredit to her talent. You know, it's just, you know, booking for the women, that just has to be better. Presentation, showing them more, making it feel like it matters. You know, and I think that they do have that with Mercedes. You know, I just hope I hope they build on that.
Yeah. We got Annika who's asking, I know I'm late, but why didn't the match happen at Double or Nothing? Because Mercedes wasn't available then. Mercedes wasn't supposed to, but this is not the original plan for the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. She's the wild card in the tournament, meaning that she wasn't supposed to be in the tournament. She wasn't supposed to be in the tournament. I think they had other plans for Mercedes. I think that more than likely she was going to win the AEW Women's World Championship at Forbidden Door or at Redemption. And then she was still going to be in the women's championship matchup at All In. It just, they kind of adjusted the plans to put her into the tournament after the Willow Nightingale injury. This was never the plan, so they couldn't just adjust on the fly and put her in the matchup at Double or Nothing. That's why the match didn't happen at Double or Nothing.
Yeah, and then also it just wouldn't, she wasn't even in town when that happened. You know, so I don't think that would have been fair to her. I think she was promoting Star Wars, or she was doing like some other things.
Yeah.
So, you know, it wouldn't have been. I don't think that was going to be a thing anyway. You know, but she's here now, so it's like you could use her now. So I mean, hey, you know, we'll see where it goes.
And it's not really that big of a deal that she wasn't at Double or Nothing. Double or Nothing was still one of their greatest pay-per-views of all time. So it's not like they needed her necessarily. And it was a big opportunity for Athena to pick up a win on an AEW pay-per-view as well. So I don't think it was that big of a deal that we have to no sweat.
Yeah, I mean, it's still benefited Athena. I think Athena needed it more than a Mercedes. So I mean,
yeah. Chuck Berry saying, my question is, will Mercedes naturally turn into a Stone Cold like babyface with heel tendencies on the side, or will she play the straight heel going into All In against presumably Tekla? I think that she leaned more into her heel mannerisms and heel tactics in this matchup on Dynamite, but I think as the tournament progresses, she needs to lean more into her babyface instincts. I think that she needs to be the babyface because she's returning. People are into her. People are happy to see her back in AEW. She had a magical run her first time around as AEW TBS champion in our first 2 years in the company, and they're happy to see her back. And I think against someone like a Tekla, she has to be the babyface because Tekla is just so good at the heel side of things to me.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
Good Doer saying Mercedes has to win the Owen, but stories for the women have to improve. Similar to the men's title scene, all women need to be thriving for the women's title. I agree. They need to. I think that's why I think that it's probably going to happen post All In, is that when Mercedes gets the title, it's going to have that MJF effect where everyone's going to be gunning for her. She's going to be the focal point, and we're going to have the likes of Chris Statlander, Jamie Hayter, Alex Windsor, Athena, the Sky Blues of the world, the Thunder Roses of the world. They're all going to be gunning for Mercedes when she wins the title.
Yeah.
And Michael Allen Lewis asking, do you guys prefer Mercedes versus Persephone 2 or Hazuki? Mercedes versus Persephone 3 or Hazuki versus Hazuki 2. I think Persephone fits more into the story of what they're trying to tell, I think, with the tournament, because Mercedes is coming back to replace the woman that started her whole downfall, where she lost the TBS championship to Willow Nightingale and then lost all her other title collection thereafter. She's replacing her, and she beat one of the women that took one of the titles off of her in Alex Windsor, who took the Rev Pro Women's Championship off of her. Her facing Persephone is her beating the woman that beat her for the CMLL Women's Championship. And I just think that her versus Sarai fits the Forbidden Door aspect more than her versus Athena. I'm going to love her versus Athena, but I wouldn't mind if they save that for after Mercedes wins the championship and do that at a pay-per-view later in the year. What do you think, Josh?
Yeah, I do agree with the Persephone stuff. I think that tells more of the story. I mean, I wouldn't mind the other Hazuki. I wouldn't mind that, but I think if you're talking about story, building up something, obviously Persephone, there's something there. I probably prefer that.
Yeah, I would love her versus Suzuki. Don't get me wrong. Her and Suzuki had
can't go wrong either. Like you can't go wrong with either. But if you're like a story aspect for Mercedes, it's Persephone.
Yeah, her and Suzuki had the women's match of the year back in 2024, so I wouldn't mind that. And yeah, I think that this is the long-term plan. You're right, Mr. Bonda. Mercedes wins the title. She holds it for a few months, but then when Willow Nightingale returns, she's the kryptonite. They have built that Willow is Mercedes' kryptonite. She needs to be the one who dethrones Mercedes. And I'm hoping they save that. I'm hoping that Willow has a steady but good recovery, and she's back in time around next year's WrestleMania, because I really think that AEW is running a North American stadium show on WrestleMania week, and that could be the big women's matchup for that weekend.
It was like we're gonna have Grand Slam somewhere.
I don't know if it's gonna be a grand. I think it's gonna be like a pay-per-view, maybe the week before WrestleMania, so like they don't have to compete with WrestleMania weekend. But I think they're gonna do a big North American show. I think that they probably wanted to save Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega for that show, but I think that Will's gonna get his way. I think Will wants to face Kenny at Wembley Stadium, and that's going to be who he beats for the AEW World Championship. Then it becomes who is Will. Maybe they do Will versus Kyle Fletcher in the stadium show around WrestleMania weekend. But I think they're going to do a big pay-per-view in a stadium for WrestleMania week, or the week before WrestleMania.
Yeah, after Tony Khan's comments, it was like, oh shit, he's planning something. He got something in the pot. That he's like, all right, like your fans want it, we're gonna give it to you.
Yeah. Yeah, overall, we just need more time for the ladies. I'm hoping that Mercedes being back leads to that and more stories outside of the title scenes as well, but actual stories in the title scene at the same time. Because the thing that they had with Chris Statlander and Hikaru Shida's story that they had over the last couple of months, that was with like Tekla not really having a story in the AEW Women's World Championship scene. It's like he can only do one or two stories in the women's division at a time. He needs to kind of show more range and show more story, and plus they have to build up to what they're doing with the TBS title, which we'll get into in a little bit here. But another big story coming out of AEW Dynamite this week is the status of AEW World Champion MJF. AEW World Champion MJF notched up his maiden successful defense of his third reign as the champion, forcing Rush to submit via referee stoppage in a no countout matchup that opened Wednesday's show. However, even though MJF emerged victorious in the high stakes bout, he did not come out of the match unscathed. Following Dynamite, Beyond Wrestling reported on X that MJF hyperextended his knee during the bout and would not be able to compete against Bobby Orlando at an indie show on Friday night, break the walls down. This led many to wonder about the severity of the injury, especially after Wrestling Observer's Brian Alvarez informed his subscribers on X that MJF's injury is indeed legitimate, and AEW is hoping it's not serious enough for him to miss out on in-ring competition. With MJF injured, Beyond Wrestling announced that Andrade El Idolo was his replacement on the Friday night event. While the injury resulted in swelling and concerns about his short-term availability, the Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that AEW's current pay-per-view plans involving MJF have not been altered. According to the newsletter, there is strong confidence internally that MJF will remain involved in whatever plans are scheduled for Forbidden Door. The report specifically stated that he is 1 million% doing what is scheduled for San Jose. MJF was supposed to wrestle his final indie event for a long time on Friday night. However, he was forced to withdraw. MJF has publicly been embracing an old school approach to his AEW World Championship reign with matches in independent promotions. More recently, MJF noted that he was going to do his last indie matchup at the Beyond Wrestling show, but the report notes he has committed to returning to a Beyond Wrestling event in the future. At this time, neither AEW nor MJF has issued a public medical update regarding his injury, but we should know more in the weeks to come. So what do you think about MJF possibly being injured after Dynamite? I mean, this would be horrible news because MJF, he's still my wrestler of the year so far. 6 months into the year, he's the wrestler of the year for me.
I mean, it would suck, but I think he'll be fine. I haven't really seen real urgency. Him, pulling out of an indie event. I mean, it is smart. It was 2 days prior. So, I mean, it happens, but they got a nice replacement, Andrade. So, I mean, they still found a way to make the fans happy. At least that's good on AEW's part because they would have been like, well, he's not in it. Fuck you guys. So the fact that they were able to get a replacement, I mean, still good, but I don't think it's that concerning yet.
So we talked about last week, me and you, we kind of went with MJF versus Will Ospreay at as the all-in main event. If they do go in the direction of Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay for the AEW World Championship, we might have another aspect because I said last week that maybe a Hangman, maybe a matchup with Andrade would be the options, but there's another person who seemingly is looking to have one more match in AEW in the future, and that man is the newest member of the AEW, Mick Foley. Foley isn't ruling out one final trip in the ring just yet. He believes that there may still be one more last good match left in him. However, he stressed that everything would have to fall into place for it to happen. The hardcore legend has not competed in a matchup since the 2012 Royal Rumble, though he has remained a visible figure in wrestling through television appearances, fan conventions, and special events. In early 2024, Foley openly discussed the possibility of a retirement match and committed himself to preparing for it. He famously lost around 100 pounds as a result of that process, and fueling speculation that a comeback could happen. Those plans eventually changed. Speaking with Ariel Helwani in an interview this week, the WWE Hall of Famer revealed that the idea of wrestling one last match still crosses his mind even after health concerns forced him to put those plans on hold last year. It's definitely crossed my mind. The cinematic matches have opened up the door for guys whose cardio might be suspect. This loss of 100 pounds made my life so much easier. I used to have to stop a couple of times walking up a moderate hill. Now I'm realizing that I'm not really getting winded like I used to. I don't know. Clearly, if I had a match, it would be a match that would have to avoid trauma to the head. Luckily, there is a whole lot of me to traumatize below the neck. I think I have one more last good match in me. All the stars have to align, and it would have to make sense. Maybe that long-term goal of dropping an elbow off a TV truck onto a parked car. I had a serious talk with myself, and I realized just how much my hip replacement and later knee replacement changed my life. There is 50-50 chance it could undergo everything, and I don't know if I'm ready to take that chance, but I have to find my mind wandering and coming up with ideas that look better than they hurt, and that rate higher on the instantaneous Foley risk reward ratio analysis. If I can come up with enough of those type of moves that allow me to risk a little bit less while still giving fans a good match, if I feel I'm up to it, maybe a couple of years down the road we will look into that. The former WWE champion also acknowledged the wear and tear his body has endured over the years, including multiple surgeries and joint replacements. He specifically noted that the impact of hip and knee replacements on his daily life. A new report had an update on the internal belief regarding whether Foley will end up wrestling a match in AEW. WrestleVotes Radio on Fightful Select reports that sources in AEW believe that Foley has made his mind up that he will have one more match, and it will be for AEW. The report notes that the sources believe Tony Khan would be eager to book the matchup as long as Foley could get cleared to do so. The site notes that MJF has long wanted to work a feud with Foley even before AEW officially made its debut on television on October 2nd, 2019. To be clear, there is no confirmation that such a match is being planned, that Foley would be cleared to wrestle, or who he might face if such a situation came to pass, but just that there is a belief within the locker room of AEW and within management that Foley has made up his mind he will wrestle one more match in AEW. What do you think? How positive are you? Do you think that Mick Foley will wrestle a matchup in All Elite Wrestling from 0 to 100?
Percentage 50%. I personally don't want it. Yeah, I mean, I'm terrified for Mick. That's the thing. It's like I don't know. I don't think he should do it, but if he wants to do it and he wants to have a nice send off, he has every right to do that. So, but I'm terrified.
Closing my eyes, like, no, please don't. I think that if they can work around his limitations, I think someone like MJF is the perfect opponent for him, because I think that MJF is smart enough to have an entertaining matchup with Foley that is less risks and more reward than possible. And I think that that is the only kind of big name that MJF will be fine with working all in. Because I think there is a chance that MJF might say, I don't want to work all in if it's not in the main event.
Yeah. You know, it could be, you know, and I think that would be like a nice send off if Mick wants to do that. Like if that's gonna be that, but you know, we'll see. You know, I didn't know like I heard he was like, you know, he was doing training and stuff. Like you know, I know about his hip replacement just because like when I met Mick, it was like his first appearance after like post surgery. So when he had that, I was like, yeah, there's no way he's ever gonna wrestle again. But now because he's like, oh, I feel better, I feel great, I'm completely healthy. It's like, oh no, Mick, don't do it. Please don't do it to yourself.
I'm feeling good. You're like, oh no.
Noel, say something to him, please.
Noel, tell him, Dad, you can't do this.
No, Eric's going to encourage him. I'm like, no, you're supposed to do the opposite.
We got Luzantis, who says they could do a cinematic match like Sting did with Darby and Team Taz. Yeah, I could do something like that. He says they can even pair Foley with Darby and have Darby take all the worst bumps. Yeah, Darby, it seems like Darby, Hangman, I've seen in the chat. We got Michael Allen Lewis, who says, I mean, if he teams with Darby and they take on MJF and a partner, who's going to team with MJF? That's what I want to know. Who do y'all think would team with MJF against Foley and Darby, or Foley and Hangman?
You have to get somebody that's much of an asshole as him. So I don't know if you're going to get that.
That's tough. That's tough. It's going to be, I was going to say FTR, but nah. Probably not, or maybe Stokely.
Oh my god,
Stokely will bump for Foley.
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy.
More AEW news. We have a departure from AEW this week. The Butcher and the Blade time in AEW is now over, as they've officially departed from the company per a new report. Fightful Select Sean Ross Sapp has confirmed that the two have left after AEW opted not to offer them extensions to their contracts. The Butcher and the Blade made their AEW debuts on the November 27, 2019 episode of AEW Dynamite, managed by the Bunny, now Ali, in TNA. They were mainstays in the tag team division throughout 2020 and joined the short-lived Hardy Family Office stable in April of 2021. The two having competed together in an AEW and ROH ring since the January 10th episode in 2024 of ROH TV. They reunited on the independent scene for a matchup at Limitless Wrestling in March. The Blade has remained active on the independent scene, and he has wrestled for C4 Wrestling on May 22nd. Butcher noted in March that they were still under contract and that the Blade had been cleared to return, and the Butcher and the Blade are now free agents and can perform and sign anywhere they would like. What would you like to see the Butcher and the Blade show up next? I think TNA would work.
Yeah, I mean, TNA would be you put them at a tag team. And if that could probably fit with them, like if they want to work, and it wouldn't surprise me if they show up like an MLW though.
MLW is a good shout too,
because they seem like they get like those kind of guys too, like MLW. I could see that being a thing. But I think a nice indie run will be good for them. I think a nice indie run before they want to settle down, just to get the things going. I think they could do some fun stuff in GCW. Because that's always a kind of good of a crash car kind of thing where, you get like crazy matchups that you never expect. I think they could fit pretty well with that.
Yeah, that would work. That would work a lot. And I know Joey Janela mentioned something on social media that they would do great in GCW. So that could be in the making. We got some more ideas for MJF's partner against Foley and Darby, or Foley and Hangman. A heel Jericho. That's a great shout, Michael Allen Lewis. That's a great shout, actually. Luzanis saying that, or MJF just hired a mercenary, which would be in line with his character. Yeah, that's true. And called me a Sabanda saying Jericho's obnoxious ass has teamed with Max versus Young Bucks before. That was the best match at Revolution 2021. Fight with your mama. And Michael Allen Lewis saying, I will say this, Butcher and the Blade kept a job much longer than Malachi Black. Just saying. I mean, yes, that is true. That is true. And remember, guys, you can still vote on our poll here. Let's show the current results. Oh man. Come on, where's the old school Lucha Libre fans? Y'all letting Rey Mysterio win this race against El Santo? El Santo is gonna lose against Rey Mysterio? Y'all gonna let this happen? How dare you? How dare you? Where's the old school Lucha Libre fans? Put those ones in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat for El Santo. God damn it. Anyway, we got more AEW news to discuss as it was announced on AEW Collision last Saturday. The company addressed the future of the currently vacant AEW TBS Championship. During last week's show, commentator Tony Schiavone revealed that over the next month, a series of 6 matches will take place on Dynamite and Collision. The winner of these 6 matches will compete in AEW's first ever Survival of the Fittest matchup to earn the right to become the new TBS champion. That match will take place on the July 1st episode of Wednesday Night Dynamite, which will take place from San Diego, California. That is the Dynamite following Forbidden Door. So be on the lookout for that. I believe the matches may start on next week's Dynamite, if I'm not mistaken. They mentioned that. Then we had All Elite Wrestling also announced a big event coming up, as AEW will make their return to Mexico and Arena Mexico for the 2026 edition of AEW Grand Slam Mexico. And it will be held on Wednesday, August 5th. It takes place in Mexico City at the world-famous Cathedral of Lucha Libre. The first Grand Slam Mexico was held at the same venue last year on June 18, 2025. The event marked AEW's Mexico debut. MJF faced Mystico in a singles bout. Also, you had Zeusis losing the CMLL Women's Championship to Mercedes Moné. Tickets for the show go on sale at 10 a.m. Went on sale at 10 a.m. today. So if you're in the Mexico area or close by, you can get your tickets now. And also try to get some tickets for AEW All in London, because honestly, the ticket sales aren't looking that great right now. All Elite Wrestling will return to the iconic Wembley Stadium in London, England on August 30th. According to the latest report from WrestleTix, assessed by Wrestling Observer, the company has moved 24,901 tickets for the show so far. The standard admission ticket is listed at £31, with nearly 106 tickets currently available on the resale market. The demand for tickets this year around is evidently slow as compared to the previous 2 editions of the Wembley Stadium event. Those shows had sold more tickets at the same point when the official card hadn't been announced. The company sold 53,922 tickets the last time it visited Wembley Stadium for the marquee event in 2024. Last year's show took place in Arlington, Texas, and did 21,973 walk through the gates to attend that event. Ticket sales are expected to increase after the Tony Khan-led company starts announcing matches for the London pay-per-view. And of course, us here at THH will provide an update on the ticket sales as and when they are available. But I think he's going to start announcing matches, I would presume, at Forbidden Door. Do you think that we'll see a large increase when that starts happening? And how many tickets do you think they're going to sell, since they're just under 25,000 right now?
I mean, yeah, I think once you start getting the card together, obviously, and I think the biggest point would be the winners of the Owen Hart tournament. I think once that happens, I think the ticket sales are going to go up. As far as how many people show up, I think it's going to be well over 40,000. I would say 40 to 50.
Okay. We'll see. I think that is probably the goal for this year. They can't expect to get close to the 50,000 that they did in 2024. But I think if they can do 40,000, I think they would call that a win for this year for sure. Lizanne is saying it will really pick up since Ospreay versus MJF for the championship is announced. I mean, it might be someone else versus Ospreay for the championship. I've been saying it for months. I really still think, even though I said MJF last week, I really still think that there's a chance Kenny Omega's winning the title before Wembley.
I think he's a bigger player. I think he's a bigger play. I think if it's Omega, they're probably gonna do more.
Yeah. I think they will sell I think they could probably move like 10,000 more tickets if it's Omega versus Ospreay.
Yeah.
Shark King the Goat saying, I'm thinking that MJF brings in Fred Hammerstone. Perfect feud to bring him in, or if he fought Bobby Lashley. You mean Alexander Hammerstone? Who's Fred? His cousin? We got Dion. It says it's probably where they will do on MJF versus Andrade. He's talking about the Grand Slam Mexico. Maybe could do that. That's true. So we shall see. We shall see for sure. Michael Allen Lewis saying 35K through 40K more realistic. Call me Mr. Bonda says 35 through 45K, my estimation. And Michael Allen Lewis saying it gotta be Kenny versus Ospreay. We shall see how everything pans out in regards to the road to All In. But finishing up with AEW and moving on over to NJPW as the NJPW Best of Super Juniors tournament continued this week. We had the semifinals was just yesterday on NJPW World, but earlier in the week we had day 11. It featured A and B block action with Kosei Fujita beating Teton in a terrific bout. You also had Jun Kasai scoring a victory over Master Wato in a wild brawl that they had. You had Nick Wayne overcame Valiente Jr. in a fun sprint. Francisco Akira got the quick win over Rasuke Taguchi, and Robbie X defeated his Unbound Company stablemate Daike Nagai in a decent bout in the A block. Meanwhile, in the B block, you had Kushida outlasted Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Sho beat Dase Sasaki. You also had Robbie Eagles picked up a win over Jacob Austin Young, while Taiji Ishimori overcame Yo. Yo scored a victory over El Desperado in a solid main event as well. Then day 12 was the final block night of the tournament where Robbie Eagles beat Yo to finish number 1 in the B block thanks to tiebreakers. Meanwhile, you had Yo outlasted who is this? Oh yeah, outlasted Dase Sasaki to finish number 2 in the B block for both Yo and Eagles to move on to the semifinals. Meanwhile, Sho overcame Jacob Austin Young. El Desperado picked up a win over Yoshinobu Kanemaru, while Taiji Ishimori scored a victory over Kushida in a pretty good bout. The B block, this is how the standings finished out. They had basically a 6-way tie with everybody with 12 points, but Eagles won on tiebreakers as well as Yo finishing second on tiebreakers as well. Then in the A block, you had Kosei Fujita defeating Daike Nagai in a stellar bout, one of the best matches of the entire tournament, as he headbutted the shit out of the young lion and picked up the victory. He finished number 2 in the A block. Valiente Jr. eliminated Robbie X in a good matchup. You also have Rasuke Taguchi made history with the most wins in the tournament ever with 86 over Jun Kasai to also eliminate Kasai from the semifinals. Francisco Akira beat Teton in a great match, and Master Wato finally got a huge win over Nick Wayne in a straight up banger to finish number 1 in the A block for both Wato and Fujita to move on to the semifinals. And then in those semifinals, it was day 13 yesterday. These were the 2 matches. It was basically tag teams battling out. Tag team partners are going at it in the semifinals. First, you had Kosei Fujita defeating Robbie Eagles in a splendid encounter between the Ichiban Sweet Boys as Fujita advanced to his 2nd straight Best of Super Junior final. Meanwhile, Yo outlasted Master Wato in a good main event to advance to the final for a rematch from last year's final, as it will be Yo versus Kosei Fujita tomorrow morning in the NJPW Best of Super Junior 33 final. So tomorrow is the final, a rematch from last year, Kosei Fujita versus Yo. Will Fujita go back-to-back, Josh, or will Yo finally win the big one in his 3rd finals of his career? Who you got?
Got Yo winning.
Unfortunately, yes, I think Yo's going to win. I wanted Fujita. I called for Fujita to go back-to-back, but the fact that he's facing Yo again, it's like, it's how rare is it with New Japan do the same result back-to-back years?
They run back.
Yeah, they're running back this final, so it makes me believe that Yo's gonna win. But I'm happy for Yo. I think that he's getting like a bad rap from the New Japan fans who are bad mouthing this decision because it seems pretty obvious that Yo's gonna win, and they're like, "Oh, you should go with the young guy. You should go with the young guy." Kosei Fujita is gonna be IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion for years to come. He's going to be a multi-time champion. He's this good. He was the MVP of this tournament. He doesn't need this win like Yo needs this win.
It's true.
No. So I think Yo's going to win. I think it's going to be another amazing matchup. Last year, they had one of the best New Japan matches of the whole entire year. So I'm looking forward to what they're going to do in the final tomorrow. I'm trying to work out my schedules because I'm supposed to go to the movies, but I'm like, I don't want to miss this matchup though at the same time. So I'm trying to figure out how I can watch the matchup and then go to the movies. So let's see what happens. But yes, we got Call Me Mr. Banda, who says basically Yo's last chance at the gold at this point. Yeah, that's what I think. That's why I think he's gonna win. Unfortunate for us Kosei Fujita fans, because Fuji was amazing in this tournament. He had all the best matches of the tournament this year. So I really wanted to see him win, but he's facing a guy he just beat last year. I think that Yo is gonna win. And hopefully Yo beats Doki as well, because Doki has been a fucking albatross on the whole junior heavyweight division this year.
Doki. Anybody with that fucking name should be investigated.
Fair. Also fair. But we move over to ROH TV on Honor Club, Josh. This week, the show featured Athena picking up a win over Hayan in an ROH Women's World Championship Proving Ground matchup. Also, we had a big announcement in regards to the upcoming Global Wars event where ROH will come together with Stardom and CMLL for Global Wars Cincinnati. And a huge main event was announced, as it's going to be Athena in a rematch from New Beginning in the USA, as she will defend the Women's World Championship against Shuri. If you saw their matchup in February, this should be amazing coming up in 2 weeks. You also had on the card this week, the Rascals beat Grizzled Young Veterans in a fun opener. Queen Aminata scored a victory over Lacey Lane. Serpentico and the Colognes overcame Kieran Gray, Bruce Hamilton, and friend of the channel, Alex Kane, in a trios matchup. You also had Deonna Purrazzo defeat Isla Dawn in an ROH Women's Pure Championship Proving Ground matchup. Brian Keefe picked up a win over Tommy Billington. Lee Moriarty beat Mance Warner in an ROH Pure Championship Proving Ground matchup. Blackheart Leo Rush got another win in singles action over Griff Garrison, while the Kingdom scored a victory over Busta and the Brain in a solid tag team matchup as well. Then finally, there was CMLL, Martis Papaleris, and Super Venice. You had on Tuesday, the Arena Mexico show saw Zandakan Jr. and Cavarera 1 Jr. beating Los Deportadores, as well as Capitan Suicida and Mascarada Dorada in a super fun 3-way main event tag team matchup. You had Black Tiger picked up a win over Star Jr. in singles competition. Then CMLL Super Venice show last night. The show featured El Sky Team beating Galano Fantasma in an absolutely fabulous trios main event that saw the return of Mystico for the first time since he suffered an injury earlier in May. And then you also had Valanos and Barbaro Cavanario. They teamed up to score a victory over LFI, Sammy Guevara, and the Beast Mortos and Black Tiger in trios action. Los Velones actually challenged LFI for the ROH World Tag Team Championships. And then you also had Soberano Jr. beat Commander in an awesome bout. That was one you definitely should go out of your way to see. It was a great matchup that those two guys had. But that's all for ROH and all for CMLL this week. And we have made it to Krssi Luv's other favorite time of the show, best worst matches and moments of the week. But we got to take a look at our poll now, because we were about to I was reminded to check this, and god damn it, my peer pressure did not work. It seems that Rey Mysterio is going to win this poll over El Santo. You should all be ashamed of yourselves.
I mean, it worked for Safet. He put number 1 after you said that.
Thank you, Safet. You're a good one, Safet. You're one of the good ones. Unlike the rest of these, I don't even know what to call them. Miscreants. We got in the chat, call me Mr. Bonda saying Athena versus Shuri 2. I'm looking forward to it. We got Power Driver Finisher. He's one of the miscreants who says, let's go Mysterio. We got Call Me Mr. Bonda saying, give me Masquerada Dorada versus Kevin Knight for the TNT title on Dynamite or Collision versus AR Fox for the ROH TV championship. That would be nice. And Power Drive Finisher says, nah, you can't fake the fact that they don't know El Santo. This is true. It's fair. It's fair. I still hate them. Don't get me wrong. I still hate y'all for not voting El Santo. But Rey Mysterio wins our poll this week. Thank you so much for voting. If you did, if you didn't, you should be ashamed of yourself. All right. But we have made it to, like I said, best, worst moment and matches of the week. Josh, who was your best and worst from this past week?
Best of the week. I'm going to have to give it to, Louis Kaiser and Chad Gable, putting on that AAA match, like I said earlier, these guys deserve every, all the credit in the world, that they've gotten. Worst of the week, Nick Khan. By a landslide, should be by a landslide. Nick Khan.
I think this is one of the first times that we have the same best and worst from this week. I literally have it written down here. Ludwig Kaiser and Chad Gable for best of the week, worst of the week, Nick Khan. Moment of the week, I gave it to Chad Gable getting love from the Mexico fans when he unmasked.
Same. That was my moment of the week. Just because the way they played that off and the way he introduced himself, I like the fact that it seemed like it was like a reintroduction, and it seemed like it worked on the weekly TV too.
Yeah, he got a huge pop on yesterday's SmackDown each time he appeared backstage. So I'm looking forward to when he's formally introduced to the crowd again on WWE television. Hopefully he gets a push this time because he deserves it after what he did on last Saturday. A bunch of people in agreement, especially with the Nick Khan of it all, Nick Khan man, as King Greg says. And I love the fact Luis is hilarious. He said El Santo never said booyaka booyaka, so that was my main reason. And it says, who's that joke
that you know of? That you know of. He probably said it. You never know, but we don't know. We never seen it.
I'm just saying. El Santo versus Mil Mascaras all the times. El Santo's movies. Check out his movies. Who gives a fuck about matches? Let's talk about the movies.
The movies, by the way, if you don't know, if you're not familiar with his movies, everybody, he was showing up as his character. So it was like El Santo and like the werewolf.
Exactly. He was a fucking movie star. What the fuck are we talking about? He was the Rock before the Rock.
Legit, like it wasn't like he was unmasked or anything. He was like his wrestling character in the movies.
He just named a movie, Power Driver Finisher. I just named a match, Mil Mascaras. What the fuck? Listen.
Yeah, it's like legit. Like a lot of his movies are like it has his name and then it says Andy. It's kind of like remember the Ernest series where it's like Ernest goes to like school or something like that. That was like that. It was like
Mil Mascaras.
Every movie he did, it was like a title after his name.
You see the disrespect Mil Mascaras gets? This is ridiculous. I swear. All of y'all. All right, matches of the week. I am trying to be strict. I think for the next 3 weeks, because it's not like we don't have a lot of major shows until the end of the month. I'm trying to keep myself to 10, Josh. I'm trying to keep myself to 10. All right. I do have honorable mentions. Fujita versus Teton from the Best of Super Juniors, Speedball Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight from Dynamite, and Austin Aries versus Trevor Lee from MLW Fusion. MLW did their premiere of the Fusion show last Saturday. check it out. It's up on their YouTube channel. The next one's coming up at 6:05 p.m. tonight. Really good stuff. That was the best Austin Aries matchup I've seen in a while. But number 10 this week, I got Rey Fenix versus Laredo Kid from the AAA Noches de los Grandes matchup. Awesome banger opener to open up the show last Saturday. Number 9, MJF versus Roosh from Dynamite. I gave that 4.25 stars. Just a great brawl that kicked off Dynamite this week. Number 8, I went with Takeshita versus Daniel Garcia from Collision last Saturday, 4.25 stars. Just an excellent matchup. Great, like story that they told with Garcia trying to chop down Takeshita and then Takeshita overcoming. 7, I went with Fujita versus Eagles from the Best of Super Junior semifinals yesterday. I love the dynamic of two tag team partners who know each other so well and know how to counter all their big moves. I get that 4.25 stars. Number 6, I went with Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker from Monday Night Raw. I gave that 4.5 stars. Just a awesome blow-off matchup that ended Raw. The Italy crowd was amazing. Number 5, I went with Kosei Fujita versus Daiki Nagai from the Best of Super Juniors, 4.5 stars. You just have to hear that headbutt that Fujita gave to Nagai. It's one of the nastiest thuds that I've heard in such a long time. Number 4, I went with Soberano Jr. versus Commander from last night's CMLL show. I gave that 4.5 stars. Just a spectacular high-flying matchup. Number 3, I went with El Sky Team versus Galano Fantasma from last night's CMLL show. I gave that 4.5 stars. Just a stellar high-flying showcase that was. Number 2, Ospreay and Mark Davis. It was modern pro wrestling graps between a great big man and a great versatile performer that Ospreay was, with the Attitude Era bombastic interferences at the same time. It's one of my favorite Dynamite main events of the year, but obviously number 1, El Grande Americano versus the original El Grande Americano, mask versus mask. I give that 5+ stars. It's a top 3 match of the year candidate for me. Josh.
Number 3, I gave it to the opening match from Dynamite, MJF versus Roosh. Really like that match. Number 2, like you said, Ospreay versus Mark Davis. Great match. You know, these guys have great chemistry, and people always forget. You know, they're a United Empire. So, you know, they kind of know each other very well. And, you know, but it's also told the story of Will getting his win back from Mark Davis. So I thought everything that came together very well. Number 1, easily, mask versus mask. You're not beating that for a while. So,
yeah. I just noticed that 3 of my top 5 took place in Mexico. 3 of my top 5 this week took place in Mexico. And the big question, because last week, Josh, we said Okada and Takeshita was the match of the month for May. And I'm changing my pick. It's El Grande Americano versus the original El Grande Americano. Honestly, I think that only Okada versus Takeshita is better than that matchup this year.
Yeah. You know, and I mean, you can't really go wrong just because.
I mean, not Okada and Takeshita, Okada and Tanahashi from January.
Oh, Tanahashi,
that's the only match.
Oh, that's the Kingdom.
That's the only match that's better. But I'm gonna say El Grande Americano, mask versus mask is my match of May. What's yours?
Yeah. Are
you sticking with Okada and Takeshita?
No, I'm agree. I think mask versus mask. Like I said, you know these guys again, man. They deserve all the praise, man. And I'm behind it. I'm for it. You know, the match got the highest rated WWE match probably ever
of all time.
All time. So I mean, I gotta go. I gotta stick with this, man. I gotta stick with mask versus mask. I gotta go with that.
So mask versus mask is our match for May. We'll see what happens by the end of June. We're going to have a lot of options the last week of June. So we won't give our June match of the month until the first week of July. But that's going to bring us to a close on another edition of the Tru Heel Heat flagship podcast. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We'll be doing a Q&A, not this week, but next week, following the Tru Heel Heat flagship podcast for Tru Heel Heat 3. 384. So if you're a member of the channel, great time to be one. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit the join button, $1 a month. You could be a part of our Q&A. We had so much fun last time with me and Josh doing the Q&A. We're going to do one next week because we hit our super chat goal a few weeks ago. So thank you guys for always your support on Saturdays. But Josh, the floor is yours. Let the people know where they can follow you on social media and when they might see you again.
You can follow me, JMPunk321 on X and Instagram, and I'll be back next weekend for the next flagship show. As far as everything else, I mean, hey, you never know. Knicks might have a title by then, so we'll see. Oh, look, our last run-in. Look at this. Look at this.
No, I'm gonna show you. Oh no!
What happened?
It's chocolate bars.
You didn't want chocolate bars in here?
Chocolate bars were not Mad Mimi's.
Oh no!
Because I made an accident or not made an accident.
I don't think you made an accident. She stole the chocolate, apparently. That's what my missus is saying. So you can follow me on the Twitter machine at Tru Heel SB3. You can follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Tru Heel Heat, patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. $3 a month, get you exclusive content, the best way to support us when we are not live here. Got nothing going on tomorrow here on the channel. You get a free day off, but we got plenty of great content for you to enjoy over on Tru Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment. Later on today, we got True Headphone Heat with me and Stat King ranking every single Kanye West album in his discography. We did a tier list for it, and we talked about every single one of his albums and ranked it from worst to best. And as well, over on Tru Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment tomorrow, we got our The Boys Universe season ranking. I did a ranking of every single Boys season, Diabolical, Gen V, and The Boys, all 5 seasons, and I put that in the tier list as well. So some good content. Go and subscribe to our second channel as we're getting close to 1,000 subscribers over there. So thank you so much for today, guys, for joining us. Thank you to Miss Krssi Luv. Thank you to the True Jaw Josh, and we will see you on the next one. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3. This has been Tru Heel Heat 384, Lies and Counter Programming. We are signing off until next time.
Fuck TNA.
How did I know?